What's going on?
Whee!
It is every other Wednesday night, so you know what that means. It is time for Seven's Wild Down South Boys Talking Toys. I am Down South 77, aka 3 Star. Drawing with me is my cousin in the hat.
Pop Blender, what's up? What is up?
What are you playing with? What's flying around over there? We're
I
gonna
don't
get
even know
into the
how
pickups in a second, but
I don't even know how to put it together. This is um Attack on Titan figure. It's
okay.
Aaron Yeager. It's yeah, I don't even know how to put together. I just now noticed that he has a hole in the back of his lower back that you can stick this little gear in, and as soon as I get it put together, I'll show it just for the heck of it. But uh, I love the anime, I really do. My son is the one that really got me into it, and and so it's like super cool. And so I bought this figure at Walgreens the other day, and I was like, man, the guy looks really neat. And but yeah, I don't know how to put him together because I am a figure expert. You know that I
You're
am.
a wine expert, a IP expert, a plastic
That's
expert. You just
right. I know every single bit about
just a
toys that anyone would need to know. If you need someone to tell you what to and what not to get, and the different plastiques involved, I'm your man.
right. I would love to hear some of your recommendations. Just like what? Hey, what do you think's the best 5K toys? And you're like, yeah, I really like that frog guy.
Oh, the frog guy. I could tell
What?
you who created the ankle joints on the Savage Crucibles. Yeah, anything like that you need to know, just send me an Instagram message. I'll hook you up.
Just a walking encyclopedia of bullshit.
That's the truth. And it doesn't even have to
Oh,
be about toys.
no, that's right. We'll get it kicked up early in here tonight. So there he is.
Whee! Hang on, here we go.
Now,
Whee!
what is that
That's a
hanging
fun
off of
sound.
him?
Well, I don't even know because this stuff right here, these two things hanging off of him are supposed to actually hook on. Okay, this is gonna, especially because I'm halfway in the dark. These pegs probably don't even really work well, but they're supposed to connect to the legs, and this is their what's called ODM gear. So it's like gas powered or propelled, and they can shoot a line out, but they fly through the air. And then
Okay.
they use the swords to cut the titans down, and that's how they defeat the titan creatures.
Just
Uh,
like
but
everybody else in the AFC.
but yeah, right. But this is how it's kind of supposed to go, something like that. I don't know. Look, I like the anime. I saw it at Walgreens, and I was like, man, I do really like these, and or the anime, the figures. Hey, look, they're made by what is this Total Anime? Total Anime, I think. I mean, I don't know who does that line. It's a Kodansha maybe or something. I don't know. Maybe you guys know more than I do. But anyway, yeah,
Just
I don't
use
know.
the fancy eclectic term and say it's an import.
It's an import, is what it is. It's a fancy import from China, and but anyway, the shit. Hey, it is what it is. Like everything, you probably need to heat it up, right?
Yeah,
And
unfortunately.
get it all in there. But anyway, yeah. Look, anybody that hasn't seen the Attack on Titan anime, highly recommended. It's really really freaking cool. It is kind of weird, but it's compelling. It's very interesting, and the voice acting, especially in the Japanese or whatever with subtitles, is really really good. So anyway, that's
I've
my
I've
that's my
I've heard
early
it's
on rant.
I've heard it's good. I just haven't ever like just hadn't not a huge anime guy, so I haven't.
Understood, totally
Um,
understood. But it's
but
worth your time. It is worth your time.
that's one that's on my list. Death Note is on my list.
Death Note is amazing, dude. Death Note is absolutely amazing. Anybody that hasn't seen Death Note, that is also very much worth your time.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
that's another one I want to check out. So, let's. I tell you what. Before we go into the usual, how's your mom and them? Let's go ahead and say
Hey,
hi to the
man.
chat
Yeah, let's do it.
before we get too far down the line. So, Stanley Everhart is here. What's up,
So
Stanley?
Stanley,
Thank you, thank you. Stanley says, "Nice thumbnail." Thank you. Thank you very
Hell
much.
yeah.
Let's see. Derek Holloman is here.
Thank you
Good
very
evening,
much.
everyone. What's up, Derek? Liquid
Big D.
Identity. What's up? It's the only big cat we have in the line. Where are our feline pets? Shadow Tracker
Ooh.
has a Black Panther.
I got a surprise for you tonight, then, Liquid.
Yeah, oh, I already know where this is going, I think. Jesus. Yeah, stay tuned for about 2 more hours, and then I have your answer. I already know. Let's river otters too. Yeah, I like river otters. River otters, I like them. I can't say it, but I like them. Let's see. I can star that comment from Stanley for later.
Yeah.
Menjoza's in the house. What's going on,
What's
Menjoza?
up?
Menjoza. We say it right over here.
Yeah, we
Menjoza.
do. That's right.
Roman Graham. What's up, Roman? Let's see. There he is right there. Punk with Toys. What's going on, Lawrence? How you
What's
doing
up?
there? Let's see. We've got Starfighter back in the house. What's up, Starfighter?
Love it.
GI Jet Man. What's going on, buddy? Let's see. J Astro. A whole lot of plastic experts around here, around these parts.
That's true. That's true.
So, all right, just get down to everybody saying hi to everybody. And okay. So what have you been up to? You was off today, right? So
Yeah, not to spend too much time on it. Yeah, off today, dealing with a summer cold, just a bad summer cold. So, the end of the stream last night, my voice was toast, and as soon as we ended, actually backstage, I was talking with Matthew, and it was like, hey, dude, love to talk to you for a few more minutes. I got to get out of here. I could barely talk at the end of it, and it is what it is. We all kind of go through it. This has been pretty rough. When we got back from Joe Fest, 2 or 3 days later, I was like, that's kind of a, you taste that like metallic weird taste, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, maybe I grabbed a handbasket from somebody that's been really sick lately, and then it went away after about 2 or 3 days, and I thought, okay, good, I dodged a bullet. And then it just came back in full force. And so much so that I mentioned it last night. I've had my Rattler since Saturday, and I have not opened it up. And honestly, that takes a lot for you.
Do you have it?
To get it this early and to not even open it up because I just have been in bed. I have not felt like it, and then had to go to work. I opened it up and looked at the artwork.
You have it right there.
I put it back in the double box over here, but yeah, it's no. I mean, I looked at the artwork, showed it off last night, which everybody knows what it looks like anyway. But I looked at the artwork. I opened I pulled the stickers off and opened it up so I could see the 3 boxes inside with the insignia.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's as far as I've made it. I'd planned on maybe opening it today, maybe doing a video just because, right? Just because. But man, I can't, man, it's just shit's had me down for the count, bro.
So in regards to what you just said with last night on your stream when you had it open.
I saw you with the box. What was in the box?
Yeah. That comment came in. I'm trying to remember who it was.
I saw it.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, and so it sucks, man, because it's been sitting here, and I just ain't had the energy to really get up. And when I have gotten up, then it's like, okay, you got an hour before you got to be at work, get in the shower, get going, and that's even in the afternoon, right? I go in at 4:00 at night. So when I do go in at night, so imagine basically laying in bed all day. And then getting yourself about an hour to get a shower and then leave and go to work.
Yeah,
that's
having to drag yourself out after being there all day, knowing you got to get up and go work.
It sucks, man. But yeah, I'm hoping either tomorrow or Friday. I'm off Friday, so I'm hoping Friday to open it up and whether I make a video or not. I mean, I don't think anybody's clamoring for my opinion about the Rattler.
I don't think anybody's clamoring for anybody's opinion.
I think I agree with you.
We're all going to talk about it. So
I agree with you. People will watch just because, but I agree with you. I think that, until people get theirs, there's almost a sense of like, not screw you, I guess, but like, hey, I still haven't gotten a shipping notification, and it's like, and there's only been so many that have gone out, so I could fully understand where, if I was waiting, that I would be like, well, shit, man, let's get these things on the road, let's get them out, and so I can understand people not wanting to maybe watch,
From
videos about it.
from what I've seen, like it just in the Facebook groups, just my own estimate, I would say that there are probably like 75% of people have not heard a thing about theirs
I
yet.
think you're right. I think you're right.
Uh,
That's what it seems like. I mean, everyone else that I know in what I would consider my circle of, especially within the toy sphere, um, have not either gotten
yeah.
it or haven't even gotten a notification yet about shipping.
Yep.
So yeah, and that's a small, not a large circle, but that's a, big enough that it's surprising to me for sure.
Yeah. So you got yours. Stanley said he got 2 of 5. My friend Deidre got
Damn.
hers. Um, like there's like I think that's like the only people that like I know that I really talk to that have gotten theirs. So I don't
Yeah.
know. We'll see. So and then Joe Fan says he had to go to the ER one night. Heart was racing, 150
Mm-mm.
BPM, 160 over 108, and damn,
Mm.
couldn't walk, dizzy, overdid myself, and the rest. Well,
Yeah,
hope you're
man.
getting some rest.
Yeah, for sure.
And
That's.
Roman hasn't opened his rat or his dragonfly yet.
I mean, sometimes it's just a matter of like space and not necessarily time, but like space. I mean, if number one, you got to figure out where to put it, especially if you've got a ton like what you've got, your setup. You've got so much stuff. As now you got to start looking at like, yeah, I want to order this, I want to get it, but now how do I even display it, right?
Yeah,
What do I put away? What do I get another shelf? Do I move it to somewhere? Like this. There's a lot involved.
I have to do some serious rearranging in here before I can put it anywhere in this room. I'll do my video here on my table, and then I'm gonna have to put it on the living room table until I'm through rearranging stuff. So like you guys don't ever really get to see like up there, like all those boxes, all that stuff. I'm gonna have to rearrange, and then this shelf over here. I've already started moving a few things, but I'm gonna have to do some rearranging just to get mine anywhere in here.
Might
Um,
have to put some boxes up, man.
I got a well, I sent you that picture. I got a box to put my boxes in last week. I was in an account for work, and I've been thinking about this because I save all my boxes. I don't flatten them. I keep the plastic. I knew sooner or later it'd be a problem, and it's a problem. I like to display the boxes. Most of the ones up here on this side, most of those are still in package, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah, I
like
figured.
my Master of Disguise Zartan and like Double O Snake Eyes, all that stuff's up there. So that stuff I still want out. All the other stuff I can put up, but I knew so I had this idea like if I could get a big enough box, like a dishwasher box or something, and I can put all the other boxes in it. It's real thick cardboard, and then I can put it on sliders so I can move it in and out of rooms if I need
Yeah,
to. And I went
yeah,
in an account for work, and I was in the back doing my job, looking around, and they had a bunch of stuff sitting by their baler that they were about to crush and bale, and they had the box for a DeWalt stand up big ass air compressor, and so it barely fit in my work truck. So I got this Stanley air compressor box that's like 4 feet tall. And I
nice.
actually had to cut like a little access window in it because when I reach over, I can't grab the bottom of it. So
Yeah,
I'm going to start putting boxes in there so I can get some more stuff in here, is my plan anyway. So we'll see. And I still had this comment up from Joe Fan. It was the Thursday after Joe Fest. Like there was some funk going around at Joe Fest. So many people come back sick after it.
that's normal though, right? Like you hear
Yeah,
about con funk, like
con
you know,
crud.
a lot of the streamers that I watch who go to the various cons all over the country and they have meetups, the pop culture streamers, and every time they get back from one, they talk about it.
Yeah.
Because it is what it is. There's so many people shaking hands. If you do a meetup, right, you're taking, selfies with people and you're, again, shaking hands, maybe people paying for stuff. I mean, there's just so much and so much interaction that it's not unusual for people to come back from a con and have some kind of funk of some kind. And for some, it hits them while they're there, which really sucks, right? But yeah, just to get that, when you some kind of cold, some kind of something, we could all say, oh, it's sinuses, but the reality is usually you get a cold from somebody.
So some funkiness in them sinuses is what it is. Poor Adam,
Well,
man. Poor Shark Eyes. Like as soon as he got on the plane, he started feeling awful.
and
He's
I've
been
been in
sick for 2
contact.
weeks.
I've been in contact with him. I mean, we, back and
Oh,
forth.
I hugged that dude so many times. It's
Right.
like I was trying to get out of paying him or something. So.
Right. So yeah, no, I feel it. He's been. Hopefully this isn't the flu, but it's definitely been pretty nasty. So
Yeah.
hopefully you guys out there don't get any of this crap. That's for sure. I haven't had it anyway.
Absolutely. Say what's up to Just Plain Yogurt is in the house.
What's up?
Going on?
Yep, there you go. Crystal ball.
Got that email
Yep,
just a couple hours ago about Crystal Ball. Action Figure Addict is in the house. What's going on, Kyle?
I'm looking for my crystal ball and I ain't got it yet, damn it. Where's my crystal ball?
Crystal ball, my crystal ball. Where can I ball? Triple D's Dungeons in the house. Yo.
Triple D.
Saponin Fools.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what that word is. Saponin.
Hang on. What
is that
is
Japanese?
Saponin Fools. Saponin. Shamonin. I don't know. I'm doing my best Michael Jackson.
Matthew Matson's in the house too.
Matthew, what's up, buddy?
Matthew. And then I got GI Jetman said Hasbro took the money for my firefighter.
Me too.
Recently, so Hasbro didn't take my money, but somebody else took my money for this guy. So
Hasbro got mine. He should be on the way soon. He's already been charged, and he should be shipping out. Look for that notification anytime soon. He looks great. Let's not kid ourselves.
This is a badass figure.
Yeah.
This dude is a really nice.
Did you say you got your crystal ball notification a couple hours ago?
Yeah, it was probably 6:30 ish.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull it up and look.
I was just no big deal. I was just looking through my emails because, like, I'm sure I'm like many of you out there that you have a million of them that you somehow signed up for, even one from your ex-girlfriend 12 years ago for some fucking shoes or something. Yeah. And you're like, why the hell do I keep getting messages from Honey or Wish.com? Like, what the fuck? And it's like, oh, lolly.
Yeah.
Check out these latest shoes. I'm like, wait a minute. That's how.
I ain't trying to buy no shoes.
Sign up for that shit.
So I got that email at 7:05, so it's only been.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah, no, it's very recent. Yeah, I'm checking, but we'll see. I'm patient on that. It's all good.
And we talked about this. Just Plain Yogurt's comment here: the typical Hasbro misleading email.
Oh
shipping
God!
Soon, or it's been delayed. It's one of the two.
Snake armor.
Snake armor.
Snake armor is one of those ones that's like, shipping date, September 1st, but then, you'll hear of people, either, getting charged or just whatever, right? It happens with multiple stuff, and they change the shipping date. So you really have to kind of dig through it to make sure you're reading it right.
That was what we all thought with that snake armor email.
Yes.
Like, hell yeah, snake armor's about to ship. Why wouldn't it? They've got it in Europe. And then it's like, oh no, that one's really delayed. Wah, wah, wah.
Well, and that caused some in our circle to have canceled their pre-order.
Yeah.
And that is that. Now, maybe, if somebody's watching a live stream and you're talking about it, you bring it up, that's on you to suss that out, right? To research and go, okay, maybe I need to read into this, and instead of just maybe going off of, really quickly going, oh, they said this, but ultimately it is confusing. And I mean, really, I'll be honest with you, I don't need that shipping update. I really don't need you to tell me that you've decided to change it to this or whatever. And I know maybe I'm that's just me, but really the only emails I'm looking forward to anytime are, hey, get your payment information and your address straight.
Yeah.
We're about to ship this out. We all know it takes a few days, right? And then they're going to charge you. You don't know exactly when, but they're going to hit you after about 4 or 5 days or some shit like that. And but yeah, I would, if somebody was just talking about it or whatever, I'd definitely have to make sure I double checked and triple checked before I canceled anything at all, right?
Yeah.
Just because. But those emails are misleading. That's for sure.
They are. They need, it needs, if they're going to do it, they need to separate them into 2 separate emails. Have one, hey, it's about to ship. That's the one I want too, just like you said, so you can make sure your money's right and they don't pull some bullshit and you get canceled. And then if they want to do it's been changed, date's been changed or whatever, fine. But the one that it's about to ship, that's the one that we really need. And half the time we don't get it. Although it's been better lately. It has been better lately. So Triple D clarified what's happening.
I can imagine that would have been difficult to try to either speak to text and or text anyway, because your phone is probably going to push back on that one. It's like, what are you trying to say here?
Yeah. Let's see. Stanley says a tracking email. Like they send that usually at the end, like it's in the has left the building or it's on the way, and it'll have the link to the tracking, which doesn't really work anyway, especially when they use DHL. So my Footloose, I don't have Footloose yet. He's on the way from Hasbro. I don't know where, but he's on the way. I don't know where, because when I click track package, it sends me over to the DHL website, and DHL says tracking number not found, even though it's already left and it's on the way. So the only way I can see it is when it hits the post office, because DHL like picks it up from Hasbro and drives it across town and gives it to the post office. So when it hits the post office, you can track it, but until the post office gets possession of it, then you're just shit out of luck most of the time trying to track it through DHL. They've got to be hands down the worst shipping company on the planet.
So right now I've got shit. There's so many. It's like one last step, place your order, payment. I mean, there's shipping update. Boom. All right. Firefighter is either on the way or he got paid for. I got charged for Footloose and Dark Lawn like before that. So your order has left the building. That is Footloose and okay, wait. That's Rattler. So as I'm going back through these emails, it's just so funny to look and see just the hodgepodge of multiple things.
It's so nonsensical.
Right. And then, I got a shipping update for the firefighter. I got a shipping update for Footloose and Dark Lawn. Then within that same line, I've got, the divers, right? I've got the snake armor. I've got, Law and Order in there, right? So that wave isn't even done yet, right? So it's just been kind of, one after the other.
They split it all up with the orders. They should separate
all over.
It. When it ships, they should separate that off.
So
at least the link,
Okay, so this email. See, this is what, and this was on June 25th. This is what got some people. See, make sure anything crazy is on here. I mean, whatever my name, I don't know, but it says snake armor, order number, order date. Your item will ship soon. That's snake armor. That's an email I got on the 25th. Your item will ship soon. That is the email that you get when your item is going to ship out. I mean, just to show you, it right here. Your item will ship soon. That is the email you get when it's about to go out the door.
But scroll down, and then you have, a pre-order has a new shipping date.
Right.
And in this case, this was the part of the email that was true.
Right.
But you don't know.
It's God dang it, man. Like, it's so, because this email, you get this and you're like, oh, hell yeah. I'm about, snake armor's coming. It's going to ship in about 4 or 5 days. Nope, not so much. And most people don't read down. That's the whole point, right? You know that. Most people don't read down. Well, they go down enough.
If we hadn't been suffering through this email and this crap so long, we know to look for it, but a lot of people don't. And you hope, usually when you get that email, that's it. Like the top part of it, it's about to ship. So like you just mentioned, the firefighter, I got that for the firefighter. I got it for Footloose.
Right.
And then a couple days later, got charged for Footloose. I canceled the firefighter from Pulse, but I got this one, and then I got one eventually coming, I think, from GameStop for the second one. But
see, I don't know, man. Go ahead.
Snake armor, and the snake armor, like, it was a completely different ball game. You didn't get it, so or didn't get charged. Where everybody's waiting to get charged, and we didn't. We say what's up to Turk Murphy's Toy Solutions. And Viper
VP.
Scout.
Yeah, VP Scout. What's up, buddy?
You just start a comment. Do you want to hit that, or you want to save that? Because we're going to talk about that.
Let's see. Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit. I just started just to make sure we didn't forget about it from GI Jet, man. I just want to start that. I think that's the one, right?
Yeah.
Just looking through my thing here, like as far as that big order. That big order was a $301.75 order for that wave. That was a $300 pre-order with the divers, the snake armor, Footloose, the Law and Order, Dark Law. Okay, so what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 individual boxes, so to speak, right? Multiple figures, whatever. $300. But the way that it's come out, it's been so piecemeal, right? And that's what's so
about
weird.
What happened to you last
Oh
week.
shit! So DHL. So that's the thing though, because see, one of them. Okay, I got dial tone. Let's see. Let me think for a second. Okay, is it dial tone in the morning, and then blowtorch that evening from the same delivery service, but 2 different delivery times. So as I was leaving to go to work, and I was leaving here at 10 o'clock in the morning, Central Time, I look up on the porch, there's a box. Run out, grab it. I'm like, hell yeah. And who is it? It's Dial Tone. I'm like, sweet, been waiting on this sumbitch. Come home, it had thunderstormed all afternoon. I come home, there's a box on the porch, and it's soaked on the bottom. Like soaked on the bottom. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And you know that webbing that they wrap that shit up in, right? That brown net stuff. Yeah. It was wrapped up in that. And somehow it did not get through to that webbing. I was really shocked, but the bottom of the box was completely soaked. But nonetheless, blowtorch that afternoon when I got home. And it's so funny because it's the same service, 2 different deliveries. Well, actually, no. Take that back. It was DHL and the United States Postal Service. Both figures went out on the same day to 2 different shipping companies. That's what was so whack about it. So I don't get like, because then I got something through FedEx, right? You get the Rattler through FedEx. I got something else like heavy duty through FedEx, but I get dial tone through DHL, and then I got blowtorch through the United States Postal Service. That shit is wacko.
And the craziest part about it is like it's crazy in itself, but it's 2 different items from the same wave ordered at the same time on the same day. You got notifications and they shipped them out at the same time, and they went out in individual boxes and got delivered through 2 different services.
How efficient is that?
That's where their damn money's going.
It's like, yes, you know, like it's the same thing as like, who are you paying to do your social media? Who are you paying to do your website or your app, right? Like you're wasting money there. And I know it's easy to complain about it, but the realization is like, instead of optimizing any of those things, you're using 3 different services to what? Ship something from the same factory? Like it's on the same day to the same address? Like that makes no sense to me. It's the same thing with a Rattler, because the reason why is it doesn't matter what time you ordered it. Okay. And so like somebody just said here in the chat, I ordered mine 2 minutes after it went live and I'm still waiting on a notification. That doesn't matter. Okay. They don't give a shit about that. Okay. But the thing is you and I live literally like 24 minutes, 25 minutes apart on a good day. Traffic, 24 minutes, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
We're in the same region. Does it not make sense to ship this out by region then? Right? And just say, okay, Southeastern United States, we have 2 of these going to the same state, almost the same city. Let's get those out. Like that's the efficiency part I don't quite understand. Maybe that's part of why they've lost a lot of money. I mean, who knows? But it is weird to me that you wouldn't streamline those processes. And most businesses these days have streamlined those processes, right?
Yeah, that's like one of the first things they look at is how to save money on shipping and consolidating and sending stuff out by region. So you got yours. You're in Nashville. I know somebody that is in Jeffersonville, Indiana, that got one. I saw somebody post that they're in somewhere in North Georgia. They got one. So it's so all over the place. Trying to predict the way they do anything is just ridiculous. I got to do a Hasbro video soon. I got to get it out.
Just makes you wonder like what those meetings look like. And again, look, I'm not into production and toys as far as toy production or any industry. It doesn't matter. Production, shipping, logistics. It's about logistics. People moving something from A to B. And who are the people involved in doing it? Who are the companies you hire? What's the best price you can negotiate? It's all about negotiations. So these people negotiate these prices. I know a guy that deals in logistics. I've talked to him at length about multiple things involving shipping product. And it is you know what? Now that I sit here and talk about it with you, and after talking with him at length many times about it, I can see where it's a clusterfuck. Especially if you're talking about overseas, because it's a clusterfuck in this country, just shipping stuff, especially when you start using specialized carriers and individuals, people subcontracting. There is, dude, the guy I talked to is a branch manager. He has to deal with about 400 to 600 emails a day in logistics only, dealing with shipping stuff from A to B. And I can't tell you how many times he talks about how stupid and idiotic the people that he deals with are, who can't follow basic instructions and meet deadlines. So in that respect, sitting here talking about it right now I kind of understand. There's a lot of
fitting together.
There's a lot of stupid people in between this process. So it might not be Hasbro's end, right? And the final delivery part, where the Amazon driver or the FedEx driver, whoever delivers it to you, it's all the in-between that matters. And there's a lot of dumb fucking people out there working in moving product from country to country or across a country.
True enough. And I think like FedEx, I think they've like negotiated to where only the bigger stuff is coming from FedEx. Like
Okay.
even you mentioned, like you think maybe your heavy duty came FedEx. Is a
I think
deluxe. Is a
so.
bigger box, more weight in the package. The snake armor is going to come FedEx. So I think they're bigger, more freight based things. That stuff will probably still go FedEx, and then the rest will probably go DHL. Is what it looks like. That's what I've seen over the last year since they really started using FedEx for some of this. And we complained about when they were using FedEx for all of it because they're I don't like FedEx either. I have a good FedEx driver here that delivers to me, but the first couple that brought stuff here were terrible. And you didn't think it could get any worse until they hired DHL. So say what's up to Crusty Old Crow.
What's up, Crow?
Let's see. Let's find. And to Sabir Del Norte, who said the subway just pulled up, about to hop trains, and he'll catch up shortly. So
Hell yeah.
safe commute.
Absolutely. We also have one Ronald Trick Shot.
There it is. What's going on, Aaron? How you doing? Good to see you.
Ronald.
That's not an Australian accent.
Ronald Trick Shot. How do you do, sir?
It's like colonial British.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing
Ours
Australian. It's just gonna be awful. I can do my old school British whatever, but I don't think I can do Australian very well. Yeah, it's interesting. The reason why I brought up about the friend that I have in logistics is because I'm not kidding. I can't tell you how many conversations I've had, and he's shown me some of the emails, and there's so many people who pass the buck on to, or they say, well, it's not, bless you, it's not my fault that, Joey didn't pick up the delivery today and take it over to Birmingham because dude, I'm telling you, there are some really stupid people who don't want to take responsibility, bless you. And so, damn, you okay over there? Sorry, man, my son's just having a conniption. But there really truly are. And so for us, we think of it in the smallest terms possible, and that's because you care about the thing you're getting. So you go, where's my fucking toy? Where's my figure, right? Where's my book? But that's the smallest terms possible when you realize that whoever's hauling whatever has multiple items from multiple states and places all over the world coming in that has to be redistributed. And then that depends on those people who care enough about their job to get shit done. And that's a problem in this country, is people caring enough about what they do to get shit done. And so, not to go off on that tangent, but my point being is, like, we're very tunnel focused, right? In our items. But then when you open that up, there's so many other things that people are dependent on within those deliveries, right? And those delivery cycles. And yet there's a lot of hands that touch that product before it gets to your door. And so, yeah, it's interesting to me, but I could see where shit just gets left. Or you've had it. You send it out and all of a sudden it shows back up on your door. Or somebody sends something to you and it gets rerouted back to Georgia or whatever the hell. You know what I mean? Like, how does that even happen? How does that even happen?
Just happened to me with a very expensive to ship package.
Yeah. Right.
Showed back up on my door the next day.
How does that even happen when you've printed the label, you make everything right, you set it up, it's all digitally online, no paperwork anymore, but it's all accounted for, and somehow the shit shows back up on your door. Well, how does that even happen? So there's just all these steps
I
in between. So it's interesting. I don't know.
so that next day last week after I shipped that out and I got home and I pulled in the driveway and I got out to get my mail and I looked at the porch because when I pull in the driveway, I got some bushes on the side of the driveway and you can't see the porch. But I walk across to get my mail across the street. And of course, I'm looking at the porch because I'm waiting on a rattler,
Right?
and I see this big ass box on the porch and I'm like, fuck yeah, my rattler's here. Like, hell yeah. I jogged to get the mail and jogged to get back in the truck. And I get down the driveway and I turn a little corner and I'm like, that box is too short to be the rattler. And I was like, oh, hell no. I know that box. I know what that box looks like. And I got out and I looked at that box and I was madder than a Klansman with a mixed grandbaby. I was like, oh, you gotta get the fuck out of here. I had
Jesus.
I had 15 minutes to get to the post office before it closed. I took pretzel out. I was like, come on. Like, we gotta go. And I started calling them. And it just rang and just rang and just rang.
Of course.
So I walked him, got my stuff, got my keys to my personal truck, put the box in the truck, and it had rained that day. Here, that box had gotten wet. I took it in and wiped it off, grabbed my keys, and I'm calling. I called repeatedly until the phone quit ringing, and then I just call right back. And they finally answered when I was about 5 minutes away. And I said, you guys there till 4:30, right? And like, yep. I said, okay. I sent a package off yesterday with you guys, and it's on my doorstep. And I'm bringing it back because we got to get this fixed. I don't know why. And so I did, man. I went in there and I was hot, and they couldn't figure out why it got brought back to me either.
No answers.
No answers. Not tell me anything. And this is the post office. I prefer to deal with the post office above any of these shipping services, but I ain't gonna lie, post office been fucking up a lot lately, man. So I don't know. So that was my story. And I saw Crow. I hate this story. Yeah, I know Crow hates that story because that's where that box was going.
Yeah,
that's the one he got yesterday.
But I mean, it's like, shit, man. You gotta box it up. You gotta pack it up. You get it all done. You do everything right. You do it all right. The way they tell you to do it. You make sure your handwriting's good. Unless you print out a label, you handwrite a label. You make sure it shit's perfect, and maybe it's in Sharpie. I don't fucking know. Whatever. And you send it out, and then the next day shit shows back up on your fucking doorstep. I mean, come on, man. Like, so that's what I mean. Like, who knows? With no explanation, because nobody can tell you, right? Nobody can explain to you what happened. But either way, there's a lot of hands that touch these boxes and scan them, and as I do technology sometimes. I mean, I know it works. Sometimes I'm trying to ring shit in and the shit don't want to work, or it keeps going back to another screen, and every time I hit it, it's like keeps going backwards, and I'm like, what is happening here? Like, I'm not doing anything different than I've done 375 times tonight. So I don't know, but I understand that when it comes to now, can you imagine? I mean, think about this for a second. 20 years ago, if you mailed a package, you might do UPS. Okay, 20, 25 years, whatever. UPS. United States Postal Service was a little bit more of a bitch, maybe. Kind of, I don't know. But now everybody shops online. Now everybody orders shit online. People don't shop at the mall anymore. They do go to Walmart and Target, but they buy shoes online. They don't even try them on anymore. People just buy shoes. So my point being is that can you imagine how many fucking boxes get shipped every day now compared to 20, 25, 30 years ago?
Oh
It's
yeah, it's
astronomical.
probably tenfold or better.
Oh God, it's probably 1,000-fold. It's probably more than that.
Yeah.
So when you look at it in those terms, then I can see where, hey, every now and then you're gonna have a hiccup. You're gonna have an issue. Nothing you did wrong. It's on our end, but shit happens sometimes. Somebody didn't scan it right, didn't get put in the system. Or like what happened to me, where it was in one of those, not a manila envelope, but the FedEx envelopes, and
Oh
the
yeah.
driver stuck it beside his seat, and the shit got left in there for like 5 days. And
It was
nobody noticed that there was an envelope stuck on in between the armrest and the fucking console in the
it
middle.
was Clark Griswold's Jelly of the Month Club
Dude, I
certificate.
went up to the FedEx station. I called, eventually got in touch with the driver of the original driver somehow. This was years ago. And I was like, what is going on here? And then somehow they scoured that truck and they found that envelope stuck in between the armrest and the center console. That shit. But nonetheless, yeah, look, it's not going to end today. This shit's going to keep happening. But you think, okay, as things get streamlined, as we do this, this becomes the norm, right? And this is how we send packages, how people shop. It's just the norm. Then it gets streamlined, it gets better and better. And I believe that. I believe systems do get put in place, But again, it all comes down to the people performing the systems and do they give a shit about their job or not? There's a lot of people that don't care,
Yeah.
and that's how things get fucked up. And mistakes do happen as well. So that's, it is what it is. But
No, Action Figure Addicts is stores have been the Sahara in terms of new product, at least
no
in his
kidding.
area. Um, I actually went in the one Walmart that still carries Joe's that like there's a few, but there's only a few that I go near like for work that I'll check on my little circuit. And there's only one that still carries Joe's. I actually went in there today and they have nothing on the peg for like the box guys. And they had 4 retro card Cobra Commanders. And
That
that's the
sounds about right.
same thing they've had for like 6 weeks at that store. So a lot
It's
of
not.
the stores look that way.
It's not even fun. Like it's
Now,
not even fun to go out in the wild and take a stroll down the toy aisle anymore. And I still do it. Out of habit. But it's not fun anymore because your chances of finding something that you haven't already got or yes, pre-ordered, and of course you could buy it right then and there and cancel the pre-order, but they're so slim. And I remember this when the 25th anniversary GI Joes were coming out. And they were doing the new molds and they had, new figs and they had the different boxes, right? And the collector sets and stuff. And I got a couple of them up top. You can't see them. But anyway, and I remember seeing those. I remember seeing them out at Target, right? I remember seeing them at Walmart. And you go straight, and I remember looking at them and picking up and being like, man, that just takes me back, man. But at the time, I wasn't interested in buying any of it. But it's like you still saw stuff, right? And now the stuff that people do actually want to buy, you don't see it anywhere.
get it.
Right? Like you
Get
don't see it at all.
I have better luck seeing anything like if anything really at a Target, the 1 or 2 Targets that I go to occasionally, I have pretty good luck at Target. Like I'm not going to find anything at Walmart. The only thing
No, not
I
anymore.
might sneak up on at Walmart and find is like a new wave of the retro card Marvel stuff. I'll get lucky. I'll see them. I found a bunch of the X-Men 97 stuff when that was out at Walmart and picked
Right.
a lot up for other people. But like Joe's, like I ain't seeing them at Walmart. I'll get lucky once in a while and see that stuff at Target, but not at Walmart.
You're not.
Torch lives at Walmart and has
Yeah.
full of squatters, right?
You're not.
Remember how hard
shit
it
at
was to
Walmart.
get Torch? Torch was the odd man out in that wave. He was like the last one.
Yeah, I mean, how that whole retail situation works. I don't even want to try to figure that out. It's so weird, and but there's times it's interesting because then there's times where you go in and you ask the kid, "Hey man, can you check on something for me?" And they're like, "Yeah, we got 5 in the back, or we got 2 cases in the back." I remember, that was going on where all of a sudden you could find some stuff several months ago, but it's pretty much a barren wasteland. And
that was how I got Dark Lawn when
Right.
these waves started showing up at Target, and that he was the only one they had, but got Dark Lawn and got him before, a lot of people had him, getting lucky doing that, but that was the only one they had. So
Right.
did that with the Street Fighters, with Sagat and Blanca.
Yeah.
Again at Target, at least Target will help you generally.
Oh, you can
like,
shit.
we ain't got it. Target will at least pull the little thing up, and they might.
You don't even. All you gotta do is
look.
look at the face of the person that's working at Walmart, and then you feel bad for even asking a question. Because you're like, nah, fuck that. I was like, if I was that person, I wouldn't want to answer shit either.
I've been on the other end of that look.
You have. Long time ago, though. It was a long time ago.
Worked there for about 3 years, and I was actually collecting. I was doing Star Wars, and I was flipping the McFarlane sports picks because for some reason the one I worked at always got the Chase figures.
Yeah.
So, and I think that was the brief time that I actually collected Hot Wheels.
Okay.
Don't ever do that. Don't ever get in the Hot Wheels. Tony's Figs in the house. What's up, replay gang? Because I'm about to dip in the pool.
Get up in that pool, Tony. Get up in that pool of Jello. I know what you about to do. Be like John Candy in Stripes. Stop it. Yeah. You about to get up in that pudding.
Dreadnought K6 in the house. I don't think I said that. If I didn't, what's up, Dreadnought?
Dreadnought. What's up? Derek Holloman has a perfect comment.
Yeah.
And, that's about all I see at Walmart, save for maybe some Jurassic Park dinosaurs here or there, maybe a couple Ninja Turtles. I have found Walmart carries a pretty, not large selection of Star Wars figures, but the multiple Star Wars lines, the multiple Star Wars stuff. Yeah. But at Target, I see the wrestling figures. I see, let's see, wrestling, some Marvel stuff, various lines. I see Transformers, but it's like the ones you wouldn't buy.
Yeah, the ones you don't want.
You're like, these Transformers. And then, because they have a separate, so the wrestling figures they have also on the same aisle as they have their Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
It's the same shit. It's like on the very end of the aisle is wrestling and anime shit. And then they have the Star Wars stuff kind of 3/4 of the way through. Your Turtles. Then they'll have your Jurassic Park. You'll have like maybe in between that, you'll have not Indiana Jones. No, because the other aisle, the next aisle over is where they have Marvel. They have Marvel and DC.
Oh, you talking about the
G.I. Joe and like
actually have 2 aisles with action.
They have figures. 2 aisles. Yes, most of the ones I go to
don't anymore.
Yes, yeah, they have 2 aisles.
You'll see the Nintendo figures, the
Nintendo figures,
Mario's,
yes. Right,
Minecraft shits over there.
Yes,
Skibbity Toilet, all that stuff's over there together. I know what you mean. Yeah, Sonic. Yep. So all right, so shipping sucks. Good luck to us all. May the odds ever be in our favor. What all have you gotten like in? I know you haven't had a chance to really open anything up. So you got what, Dial Tone and Blowtorch?
Well, Blowtorch, Dial Tone, Frag Viper, Heavy Duty, Rattler. I I think so far that's mainly been it. I mean, you know, the retro stuff I got, like the retro Viper, you know, that all that stuff
Yeah.
came in when everybody else kind of got that stuff in. But yeah, out of this line, you know, it's basically been Dial Tone, Blowtorch, Frag Viper, Heavy Duty, and then obviously the Rattler came in.
Have
And that's
you
a what's that?
have you opened up any of those yet and like taken them out and messed with them yet?
No, I haven't because mainly since I've got most of them, like I felt like
Yeah.
complete shit.
I'm
Um,
sure.
and so yeah, I mean, Blowtorch, Dial Tone are back here chilling. You know, other than that, that's about it. You know,
I was gonna get
nothing
your
crazy.
opinion on what you thought of the wave overall. That you hadn't really had any hands on with them
I
yet.
mean, not any
So,
hands on, but I mean, just looking at them, like I know and having watched other videos and stuff of everybody. I can't tell you how loose or how whatever. You know, those are comments that I have not heard a lot of from people though.
not really.
That I can tell. I haven't heard, hey, this, it's one thing like they had the mole rat or, you know, figures without arms,
The armless
and
mole rat, the
janky
Keepin.
hips and whatever. Those things I have not seen. So without being able to go too in depth and tell you, hey, yeah, I've got this issue, just from an aesthetic aspect, like I do actually really like what I've seen. And when I got the Frag Viper in, I took him to work with me because I picked him up off the porch that morning, and I actually like the look of it. I'm not a big fan of the sash. It wasn't a figure I have a lot of attachment to. But I get where they're coming from. It's from Michael Myers. I don't even know what to think about that. But like I
It's
don't have a lot of
better in
attachment to him.
hand.
Yeah, but like I like kind of the android Data from Star Trek kind of
It
thing going
works.
on, and
It
I'm
works.
okay with that. I'm fine with that. It doesn't have to be a real guy,
Yeah.
like I don't know.
I
That's the
mean,
way I look at it.
I didn't like the idea of it when they said it, and I didn't like the head on this dude, like the android head. But man, it works in hand, and I was actually wasn't even thinking about getting this dude yet. I was gonna wait on him, but
Mm-hmm.
man, he's a badass figure. So that was what I wanted to ask, like because this is a really good wave for some characters that are hit or miss for some people. Like there's no real absolute bangers that are people's favorite character in this wave, aside from possibly Footloose. I mean, I love Blowtorch, but for just like a random assortment, like a hodgepodge of characters to
Mm-hmm.
be thrown into a wave together from all kinds of different years, this is a banger of a wave as far as the figures and the quality of these guys. So
And
I'm
it's not
digging
done
it.
yet. It's not even
Uh,
done yet, right? We haven't even gotten all of it yet.
well, this wave, yeah.
Oh well, yeah.
Or-
Hang on. It's okay. Yeah,
I
this
mean,
wave, yes.
Law and Order is the deluxe because Heavy Duty technically was like from like March, when he
Yeah.
first come out. So
I'm going back and looking at kind of like Frag Viper, Blowtorch, Dark Lawn, Law and Order, Footloose, Snake Armor,
yeah,
and the Divers. That was all kind of one big order together when they went up for pre-order.
okay. So I didn't
So I mean
realize
that's
that those
yeah,
were. I
yeah,
guess they were that same day.
they were.
Uh, okay,
Hmm.
so we're missing a few then,
We're
but
missing the
Law and
Divers. We're
Order,
missing
yeah.
yeah, Snake Armor, Footloose will be on the way. Law and Order, I assume. But yeah, I mean that was all kind of together. So
Oh,
hard to remember all that sometimes. But yeah,
oh yeah.
they put all
Well,
that.
that's why I was that's why I was wondering because I this is for a wave that is really kind of divisive as far as figures. Like it wound up being a really good wave, and so I heard you make you told me that I just opened this dude and put my review up on him, and you said he gave you buyer's remorse, and this is one that is kind of why I ask you that question, because this is a figure that you really need to have in your hand and put him together to make a big decision on. Is heavy duty. This guy, especially just the figure himself, he's a great set. Now his stuff is still ridiculous as hell, but like the look of the figure and
Yeah.
functionality, like he's really good, man. But
Mm,
you kind of have to open him and put him together. But he does leave me with a question when I look at him. So I'm going to put him up here, and I'm going to ask,
How does he go to the bathroom with all this shit on?
yeah. Hello. Good luck getting it all off. I saw it.
imagine taco night, and he's got a next day, and he's in a rush.
Right. I did see, and that I didn't recall. Maybe I just want to make sure, Mister. Oh, my bad. Hang on, really quickly, Mister Magus.
Yeah,
What's up,
did
buddy?
we not? Did we not say
I
what's
can't.
up
I
to him?
can't.
thought
I
we
can't
did.
recall. It was
Highlight.
starred, and I can't recall, and I apologize. But I definitely want to make sure I said hello to that gentleman. There was something in here about the stiffest part. What was the stiffest
Bobby
accessory?
Wall in the
Yeah, that was
house.
it. Okay, you added up. Okay. So far is Blowtorch's hose that should be flexible like their weapons. I mean, I've got him open, and I don't know. I mean, it seems pretty flexible to me. I mean,
It
look at, like, I know you can't really see that, and I apologize because I know I don't have a lot of lighting, but I bent the hose out, and it stayed like that, in that form anyway. And I mean, I know it's got the tape on it, but I would assume it's pretty flexible. It seems extremely flexible. This guy's, come on, man. This dude's
He's
badass.
great.
I'm sorry, but he looks fantastic. Like, he
he's
really,
great.
the blowtorch itself is a cool ass, gun, whatever you want to call it. But yeah,
The main thing with the
shit,
hose is
awesome.
it is kind of stiff, and it will
Okay,
pop off of like right here where it connects on the top.
okay.
It will pop off. It actually bends that peg on the back of the torch
Oh, okay,
upwards.
gotcha.
So it could stand to be a little bit more flexible, but as long as we are talking about this guy,
No, it's not showing up on screen.
oh, it's just the audio.
Oh, okay. I thought you had the vid up on it. I mean, look.
You're not cooking. Yeah, dude.
Pork chop sandwiches. Oh shit! Get the fuck out of here! What are you doing? Go! Get the fuck out of here, you stupid idiot! Fuck, we're all dead! Get the fuck out! My God, did that smell good?
Detective, there's no going, and you tell me do things. I done running.
G.I. Joe!
That shit is it's so good. I'm sorry. That shit is so funny though.
It never gets old. I hope nobody copyright claims that, but
I don't
I left your
think
credit
so.
at the end. That's actually not even the original. That is somebody that actually remastered them much later. And I saved it for just that reason, but I did I did get just the audio.
I just love the end. It's like
He just looks at the camera and is like, what the so I just wanted to touch on this wave. Like, I think there was some really good figures to be all over the place in that wave. So that was why I asked. So
yep. No, there's several. I mean, still, I'm not the biggest fan of Dark Lawn. I think that shit is. I'm sorry.
Dark Lawn's the second best one in the 4-figure wave for me.
Man, it's gonna take a lot of convincing. I don't know.
You gotta get him open and you have to touch the Quintesson head, and
Yeah,
it'll be like the crystal skull in Indiana Jones.
I'm gonna have to touch him.
touch the magical robot battle mask. So
What in the hell? This ODM gear. I am lost. Okay. Anyway, all right.
let's see. Going through my banners here. So we already kind of talked about that one. It's like I got the Rattler blues because hadn't heard anything. So Stanley had mentioned earlier in the chat once or twice that they are going out in batches. So we're probably in between batches. I know I saw on Facebook Jeremy Kimberlin got his today. So there are some that are out being delivered right now. So I told this story last week with Crow. I wasn't going to be that guy and call about my Rattler because I know like they're eking them out slowly, right?
Yeah.
In the batches, whatever. So I got to thinking, do you remember last year when I had so much trouble ordering my Rattler? They wouldn't process my payment. It kept saying that my card declined. And I didn't know why. There's nothing wrong with the card. I called the card company. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yes.
I had all that trouble, and I didn't actually get it ordered until I think it was 4 days after the close of the campaign before my order actually went through. And I got to thinking about that, and I was like, man, I hope that didn't cause something crazy. And like they did charge me, but I just hope something didn't get lost in the shuffle. We're talking about Hasbro and orders and online stuff. So I called and I asked, I know, they're coming out a few at a time. I just want to make sure nothing happened to my order because I had trouble ordering it, whatever. And they were like, no, your order's fine. You'll eventually get your notice. And that is what they told me was that they were going out in batches, and I didn't ask about rhyme or reason for what's in the batches and what makes them up, because they wouldn't know, or they would have a canned response. Hell, the batches is probably their canned response. But I just kind of thought about that. I was like, I better call and double check. Yes, I have a confirmation number on it, Stanley. So that's what they told me. Same thing Stanley said. No rhyme or reason to what's in the batches or when they're going or how they're batched or whatever. But I did ask while I had them on the phone, I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and ask about something else. I also asked about the snake armor. And I told them, I said, I got this shipping notice a while back, but I never got charged. And then I see that the date's been moved. Can you confirm anything? And they said, yes, it is moved to September 1st before it will ship, which we all know probably means the first week of August. But that's what they told me. And I brought that email up that we just talked about to them. I said, the email you guys send is very it condescends itself. It conflicts itself. Condescends, I guess, but like the top of it says contradicts. That's the word I'm thinking of. Condescends. It talks down to the bottom half of the email. And I said, like the top half says, hey, we're about to ship this item, but then bullet point number 2 says, oh, we're sorry to tell you that the shipping date's been moved. I said, how do y'all put that in the same email? And they acted like I was the first person that had ever called and asked that. So just like, well, you might pass that along to your supervisor that your email notifications are ass. So that was my experience with that. What's up to Shark Eyes? I hope you're feeling better, buddy. Good to see you in here. And Ronnie Trickshot says, Shark Eyes, get back to work.
Yeah, right.
Day off, dickhead. So all right, let's talk about some other toy stuff that's going on. And first thing I want to bring up is this right here. So this went up today. This is the Mezco Rumbler and Death Adder. And way back up here, Stanley, I had this comment starred for the whole show so far. The price, they just announced the price today, $325. So I thought this thing was going to be $400 easy because it is a 1/12 Mezco vehicle, and it comes with a Mezco, one of their Rumble Society guys. So I was thinking easily that this is going to be $400, and they surprised me. $325 and free shipping, at least in the US. So this thing, if you guys haven't seen it, they announced it like 2 years ago that they were working on it, and everybody has been wondering, where it's been. So D Amazing, if you haven't seen, he has it. They sent him one, and he has a review of it up on his page, or on his channel. I watched it yesterday. This thing is absolutely, it blows everything out of the water. It is amazing. And yeah, Punk says it there, the Rumbler. This thing is absolutely mind-blowing how cool it is and how much stuff they put in here. So basically it's kind of what everybody wanted out of the Vanguard. Not saying the Vanguard's bad because I don't have one.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying.
This is like this. I think this is what most people had in their mind that they wanted out of something like the Vanguard. This is on Mezco's their own site, these pictures, and I don't think their pictures really do justice. I do recommend go over and check out D Amazing's review, because he shows way more than what Mezco shows in their own promo pictures. I love the figure, the snake dude that he comes with.
Yeah.
Yeah, Crow, we talked about it, and Crow said, I think you said 350, or maybe you did say 325. You are right. Just go through their pictures here, looking at it. All of this stuff comes off. You can change out the weapon system on the top, from the minigun to this rocket launcher. Comes with these badass blast effects, and there's effects for the back of it too. So there's the guy that it comes with. Don't remember what his name is. I know it's in here somewhere. I love this dude. He's got a cybernetic arm, so you can put
wild.
this dude with your Joes. I mean, he's a freaking snake cyborg.
Yeah.
So we're finally getting to see it. There's another look at him, another look at it crushing a car. They get more pictures of the actual figure than they do the vehicle. So you can see there, motorized winch. The winch is actually motorized. It's got a bunch of different light settings, interior and exterior lights. All of these armor panels come off of all the windows. The back has basically Lambo doors. They don't slide up. They go out and up, but they fold up at an angle. Can't really see the hinge right here, but it's an angular hinge. So they
cool if you could pull them off.
I don't remember if you can. I don't think
cool.
You can take them off, but so you can take off the armor.
Okay.
And you can actually take off the windows. They're thick, like bulletproof glass. You can actually remove the windows too. Like everything, the grill comes off of it. Let's see, the grill comes off. The back seats have all kind of storage underneath them. The back opens up. You can actually fit figures in the back seat. You can fit at least 2 figures easily in the back seat for this thing. It's a beast. And so I think $325 for this thing with a Mezco figure, one of their Rumble Society figures, is a steal.
All right. So that begs the question, it's $325. Snow C.A.T is $325. If you were given a choice, said you can only get one of these, which way would you go?
That's a tough choice. They're brilliant for dropping it in the middle of a G.I. Joe Haslab.
Right. That's probably by design.
Yeah, I would think so.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
This is it's a hard decision. I mean, G.I. Joe is G.I. Joe. That's my number one. You know, that's my main. I love the brand. My love for the brand and the nostalgia for actual G.I. Joe characters is probably the only thing that's kept me hanging in with some of the shit Hasbro's pulled, honestly.
I can understand that.
So I don't know, honestly, because we're going to talk about the Snow C.A.T. I don't think it should be a Haslab. I think they made a lot of changes to it to make it a Haslab, just to beef it up. We'll get into that. This thing is just badass through and through. And even if you don't use the Rumble Society dude with it, like, you can literally use this thing with any 1/12 anything. Marvel Legends, put the Punisher in this thing. I got the Raider van for the Punisher. Put the Punisher in this. This is like the Tumbler, mixed with a Rezvani. So that's a tough decision. I can't call it right now. I'm planning on getting the Snow C.A.T. Despite my feelings on it, I still think it's a good offering. But this thing at the same time, dude, and it's going to start, I think, going to start shipping after SDCC, I think is what it said.
Okay. So that's pretty quick.
Yeah, there it is right there. It's got it on there. This item ships after SDCC.
Okay.
So
it's just an interesting question, just if it was, hey, I could only get one or the other. Some people can get two, both, right? Yeah. Obviously, some people will. But bless you. It's an interesting question, though. Is it that, good God.
Children needs Benadryl.
He won't take shit. It's like an old man. Anyway, so yeah, it's just an interesting question. It's like, hey, if you could only get one, right? What would you do? But again, I know a lot of people will probably take either one, right? Or both or whatever. But yeah, it looks cool as shit. And see, stuff like this, that's the whole thing about it. For me, you've got to have working lights. Like, there's got to be some of those amenities that it needs to have if you want to get, and I'm different, but I'm just saying overall, good Lord, seriously, take something.
I'm fine.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not quite big yet.
Oh my God. It's like, let's gonna cough up a lung here. Sneeze up a testicle. Anyway, so yeah, but it has to have some of those amenities for me. Right? Like that has to be part of it. There has to be some of those amenities for me that match or equal. But at the same time, yeah, you have a certain love for a particular line, and that's where that's going to maybe make the decision for you, right?
If only we had some sort of police or SWAT figure to load this up with.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that would be. I did see Diaper Island or Swiper Island or whatever the fuck it's called anymore these days. Have you seen their recent thumbnail?
I have not.
Yeah, I don't even know how. I haven't watched one of their videos in like a year and a half.
They're like a malignant cancer, dude. They always
it's a stage 4 cockroach. But the funny thing is I looked up at their somehow I was just scrolling through and it popped up in my feed and it was like the police cover up, the police figure cover up. That's part of their thing. Their thumbnail has a slash in between. It has one figure on one side. And it has the police figures with police tape on the other, and it says something like the police figure cover up or something like that. I was like, oh, here we go. Are you getting into it? But anyway, yeah, whatever. It's funny.
Don't go look at that. Go look at The Amazing. Talk about this this Rumbler.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, look, I don't give a fuck with these guys. Yeah, really. It's just I thought it was interesting. Yeah. Either way, this obviously has plenty of extras and everything. I mean, is this for 325? You get everything. There's no tiers. There's no
No,
you get locked out. You get it all.
No, it's the whole
Right,
whole enchilada. No,
Well, that's cool.
nothing to unlock. So
Okay.
this is The Amazing's video. Obviously, I'm just kind of skipping through it because it shows more than what Mezco shows on their site.
Right. See, I'm not the only one.
I'm sure it is. I watched one. I did watch one a couple weeks ago because there was same as you. It showed up and was like, oh, what the fuck is this dude talking about now?
Yep.
So here's he's showing the figure. I mean, but just look at that thing, man. Like,
Oh, it looks badass. I can't argue with that. It does. And if you're in the market for, I mean, just a original creation, right, or different take on a different kind of vehicle, and something like this, and then obviously, I mean, look, they do well enough. People love their products, and they do well enough. So I think they do really good work. And again, especially for people that do photography, right? Like, I think photography drives, I mean, obviously the love of the hobby, but I think photography in particular drives a lot of people's passion for getting different stuff
oh yeah,
because of what you can do with it. And especially when it comes to obviously the scale and being able to mix and match scales. If you could put Frank Castle in there, right? And you can have Daredevil hanging off the fucking top of it, and you could take photos, and stuff like that makes sense. Like that totally makes sense to
and
me.
it photographs so well. So he did some pictures
Right.
and so yeah, go over if you haven't seen it. Check out The Amazing's video on this thing. And Shark Guy says Liam never concoct a story for views, and if you believe that, I've got some beachfront property at Ayers Rock to sell you. We took a vacation there one time. I got bit on the ass by a crab at Ayers Rock.
See, look, I'm not driving content, I'm not driving anybody towards there. Okay. Like, but look, watch what you want to watch. I mean, it's all open for whatever, man. Sometimes you get comedy out of watching people's stuff, right? Like sometimes you can hate watch, I mean, it happens. Sometimes you watch it and you go, it wasn't so bad. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, who gives a shit? I just thought it was funny. It was like this, jumping in on the whole controversy, I guess. And Mr. Magus, yeah, like if you got The Officer or Law and Order in that, in that toy like that, yeah, that would look super cool, right?
That's
like that Rumbler with Law and Order, or but especially like the police officers in there as a kind of a SWAT kind of deal or whatever. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
the best Night Force thing they've done yet.
Well, right. I mean, and Matthew here, that's my problem. Too many photo opportunities. I have to get them all. And I get it. That's probably part of the reason why you're so freaking busy. Any free time Matthew has is taken up with photos, other than family, right? Yeah.
I wish I had the ability to prioritize my time to make time to do pictures like Matthew does, because I know Matthew's got to be far busier than I am, and he still gets it done. And I would love to be able to manage my time, enough to do pictures like Matthew does.
Some people are just good at being able to keep moving, right? Keep the steam engine rolling, and you just plow through, and it's like, there's not enough hours in the day. And then for a lot of us, there's like, too many hours in a fucking day sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like when you're laying on the couch feeling awful, knowing you got to get up and go to work in a few hours.
Yeah, nah, man, this sucks, dude. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Even when me and Matthew got done last night, and he was like, dude, like, you got to open up that Rattler. And my first comment was really the wrong comment because he was totally right. I said, yeah, I said, I guess it would, it'd be an easy way for me to get some views on my channel. And I said that without really thinking, because in my mind, it's like, I don't even think that way anyway, because I don't even make videos. Like, I just don't. And he was like, no, just to fucking play with it. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. Duh. It's like, yeah, open it up and put it to fucking together, you asshole, and just play with it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Because, but in my mind, the first thing that came to my head was like, yeah, I guess it would be a cheap way. It's my Nemesis Enforcer or whatever, right? My Nemesis Immortal. It's stupid. It's like, no, it's not what I do. So, but that was the first thing that came to my head. I was like, yeah, I guess, I just hadn't felt good enough to do a video on it, but it would be a good way to get some views. And he's like, no, just get it out of the fucking box, asshole.
What's
You got a box.
You're so right.
What would be funny would be if you just did, like, and you just put it all together and then moved whatever that is on the right of your sign, or up as we're looking at it, is that retro Duke? And
you talking about over here or over here?
Over there. He's on the wall.
Oh yeah, those are the retro figures hanging. I've got Scarlet and Stalker and Duke kind of early.
That'd be funny to just like put it up there and turn the lights on Sunday when you start and don't say anything.
That's true, I guess. Yeah, I just got to make some space for that motherfucker.
Yeah. G.I. Jetman, does everybody know Destro's my spirit animal guy? He put out a video. I like that guy. He's a little pretentious, but I like his videos. I do. I'll listen to like 3 in a row, and then I won't listen to them for a while. But I do like that guy. He's he puts the effort in.
Look,
his videos.
I like
some good takes.
Yeah, I watched one of his videos the other day, 1 or 2 of them actually. I put on, and just for fun, and yeah, he does a good job, man. I don't know whoever he's involved with, I don't know, but I do know this comment is what had me cracking up.
Yeah, you have to make that and then send that over.
So then what? Travis can put up a thumbnail that says, "Hey, our guy Pop, check out his review on my channel for the Rattler."
Oh man. Yep. Don't care who you are, it's funny right there.
He just got it for me.
Oh, yep. He's a teacher, so yeah, that's right.
I can't help it. Destro is my sub buyer. Yeah, look, I don't know. I don't know anything about that guy. I will say this. I do like most of the stuff I've watched him do, which maybe like the history of, or like, this and that, whatever. I don't delve that deep into his stuff, but the stuff I have watched, I have liked, whether the other stuff I don't know. There are people who I'm assume have bought subs, so to speak, whatever, that I don't watch, that I don't know anything about, because obviously they don't do anything with that, right? You can buy them, but if you don't maximize the whole part of it, then yeah, right. But
wait, hold up. Hold up. I enjoy Destro's my spirit animal, but dudes our age shouldn't wear granddad caps all the time. Now you just hold on a minute.
Well, what's a granddad cap though? I guess that's my question. What is a granddad cap?
The driving cap, the golf caps, like.
Oh, you're talking about the taxi cap?
Yeah. That I almost wore tonight and decided to wear a ball cap instead.
Because I'll be honest with you, my granddad wore hats like these. I could show you a ton of pictures of them. It's actually the reason why I wear this hat.
I have so many of what he's
interesting.
A granddad cap. I bet I've got 10.
One day we're all going to be granddads, whether you have kids or not, in a way, right? Like, But that's interesting. I will say this, like, I couldn't tell you what the guy looks like, to be quite honest with you. I really couldn't. I couldn't tell you what he looks like. I just remember watching, a couple videos or whatever, of his stuff. And of course we don't have to go down a rabbit hole of like this creator, that creator, whatever. It's just, I know that like there's stuff by people that I like, there's stuff by people that I don't like. And that encompasses a wide range, right? There's certain videos I just don't care for, and then there's ones that people do. Dan Larson, I like Dan Larson. I don't like Dan Larson's politics. It doesn't mean that I can't watch Dan Larson's videos, right? Like, I can separate those two things. Now, when he infuses the two in his videos, that's where I start to, okay, Dan, like, chill the fuck out about your fucking General Lee shit. But like, other than that, like, I can kind of, but for the most part, I couldn't tell you what Destro as my spirit animal looks like. I will say this, folks. Now, when it comes to buying subs and all that kind of stuff, not a big fan. It is what it is. The tool is there for you. It's called boosting your brand. Okay, whatever. If you were a salesperson, there is a thing called buying leads. You can buy leads. Instead of creating your own, you can buy leads. So in the sales world, that is a big thing. That is a big deal. And I don't think people sit there and judge each other over buying leads. As long as you make the sale, that's what it's really all about. So to me, it's the final product. You could buy 500 subs. You could get monetized tomorrow. But if no one's sending you any money, or if no one's running ads on your content, then is there really any point to doing it, right? I think that's the real question. Now, some would say I like to grow my channel organically. Well, I've been growing it organically for a year plus now, just doing nothing but live streams. And I have more videos than I do, I think I have maybe more videos than I do subs, but that's growing it organically, just doing live streams. So, there's a million different ways, right? It's just, I think it depends on what you do with what you have, rather than you purchasing the tools or whatever. Yeah. I think it's ultimately up to you to make of it what you will. That's just my take on it. I really don't care what anybody does, because it's their money. They do whatever they want with it.
I know. Hawk says, Travis's words to me. Don't you think putting Pop's video on your channel would have done more for him than just posting it for people to go watch?
Oh, yeah. And that's isn't that on the Nemesis Immortal? Yeah. That was on the Nemesis Immortal video. That's so
You're like one of the first people on YouTube to do a Nemesis video of all the stuff, because you got him like 3 or 4 days before everybody else started getting him. You're like, you know what? I'm just going to do a video. It was the only review that you've
done. That is like quote unquote, right? That's so funny. Yeah. And what's so hilarious about it is that it's like, I don't know that it would have done anything for Lawrence's channel to have that review, because one of the comments on the review was, "This is one of the worst reviews I've ever watched."
Yeah. Mean comments. That's right.
And I said, I agree.
Yeah, I don't review toys, so this was a kind of.
I agree with you 100%.
I've got 100. I've got 100 plus toys right here that I could review anytime, and
it would have done more damage to Punk's channel than it did good for mine.
Look at this shitty guy that he knows that he said, I'm going to unsubscribe to both of them. Fuck them.
Oh, no. It's got me. The funk has got me. Yeah, it would have done more damage to his channel than it did good for mine. So that was a good decision to not put it on his channel.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It's funny. All right, I'm going to take me a quick break. If you want to queue up, you had told me you had something that you wanted to talk about on BBTS.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, look, and everybody's going to hate me for it, and I can't wait. Everybody's going to hate me for it. They're not going to hate me for it, actually. They're gonna yawn, and they're going to go, Nobody likes those, but I just wanted to bring it up because I fucking like these things. So you do your thing. I'm gonna bring this
wanna
up,
hear
and then I'm
what
gonna
it
have to
is,
go
though.
cough up a lung.
All right. You're
Excuse
gonna
me,
go
sorry.
smoke. Don't lie. You're gonna go
That
smoke.
too, and cough up a lung. But go ahead, do your thing.
I do want to hear what you're talking about, but
Bring your phone up then and watch it while you go outside.
be back.
I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna watch it just like I do. You're gonna pull the stream up and you're gonna watch that shit. See? That's stupid. Okay. Krusty Old Crow was Punk the one who left that comment. I don't think so. Clint, I'll be the first to get Retro Nemesis Immortals to get ready for that review. Dude, it was so stupid. Like, you know, you do a YouTube channel and you go, oh, shit, nobody's done a review. I saw like 2 reviews on Nemesis Immortal. And I was like, well, this will get me some views, right? Like, hey, what the hell? And yeah, it's not good. It's not a good review. Of course, it's not a good review. It's not what I do. But it did get me quite a few views. I do truly think it would have done more damage, though, to Punk's channel than it would have done to mine. Okay, folks, here's the deal. I'm not going to lie. I like these figures. I know you guys hate them. All right. G.I. Joe Ultimates, BBTS, 60% off. I got the email earlier, and I was like, oh, shit. And I was like, oh, Storm Shadow, 25th anniversary, only $35. Wave 2, $88. They almost got me in. So my thing is this, like, if you're an inbox collector, I know these are great for you. Most people aren't, so I know they don't want these. But I freaking love these figures. I truly do. Like, I know they're not good figures. I know they're not solid, and they don't freaking, like, you know, stay together. They fall apart. But the reason I like these, the main reason I like these, is because of the damn cartoon part of it. That's mainly it. Like, the cartoon part of it is the reason why I like these so much. And I know, I get it. They're not great figures. And for the price and everything, like, why would you pay $55 for this fucking stalker? Like, I'm not stupid. But I love the packaging and I love the accessories. And I got this email earlier and I was like, okay, all right. Yeah. $27 for Baroness, Blue Baroness. I'm kind of in on that, you know. Do you want to take her out of this beautiful packaging? Probably not. But yeah, I get it. I know everybody hates these things. And yet for some reason, I freaking love these figures. It's so stupid. Because I know how bad they are. And I know everybody is like, you know, they're you know, yeah, look, $20 too much, 100%. I agree with you. If these were in the $24 range, roughly the same as classified, I think they'd probably sell better. Even if people wanted to collect them and keep them in the box, I think they would. I you know, fuck you, Matthew. $10. Damn you. Look, but again, if you were an inbox collector, and there's a lot of inbox collectors out there, I mean, there really are. If you're an inbox collector,
Tiger Force Flint without the doo-doo mark on his face.
Yeah, because see, why would you want that doo-doo mark? But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're an inbox collector, then like the packaging and the cartoon look of these is, now look, I'm not crazy about, I don't like this.
I like that. I have the reaction when covered up by some other stuff.
Dude, I'm not a big fan of this Destro. Now, boy, do I got a Destro to show you later. But I like these figures, man. I don't know what it is. I know I shouldn't. Everybody tells you shouldn't. Everybody tells you they suck. They're worth $5. But for some reason, like, I really do love the look of these damn figures, man. And I know they're way too expensive. Way too expensive. But there's something about them. I think it hits me in the cartoon feels. Right. Yeah. See, look, I'm not stupid. I like these. Yes. There you go. It's a great quote. I'm not stupid, but I do like these.
I like the look of them. I like the cartoony Sunbow look myself. I
Right.
mean, I have a few. I'm with you. I like the look. I like the aesthetic. We all know they're not well made.
No,
If
they're not.
if you can pick up characters that you like,
Yeah, sure.
you know, on discount, I don't see anything wrong with picking up a few. They make good display pieces.
I wouldn't pay
Um,
$55 for this Zartan. I mean, I'm not. You know
no,
what I mean? Like this is a classified figure, basically. So it should be the same price as a classified figure with worse or made worse, I guess, whatever, however you want to phrase it. So to charge $55, I think is them saying, hey, if you want the cartoon look and you want all in on that, then we're gonna charge you for that look. It's a shame they couldn't have made these better, but I do actually really love the look of them. And look, I'm not buying these. I saw them on sale, and I'm like, man, you know what?
the
There's a
Storm
couple of
Shadow's
them.
badass, and so's the Blood.
Oh, the Major Blood. I mean, but so again, look, I love the cartoon, and I was huge on the cartoon. Obviously, all of us were, and I was also big on the comic too. So there's differences between those two, right? There's the differences between
Yeah.
the two. But like there's certain things about these with the look and some of the accessories that they come with that is from an episode or whatever. And the Lady J one, even G.I. Jetman, the Lady J one, it's like, yeah, that short hair, that look, the way that looks, I love that. But for that kind of price, no. And
You're paying for the
and
packaging,
100%,
so,
right. So, but I knew everybody would make fun of me for it, and I don't really care
all right.
because I do. I love the way they look.
You like what you like, so
You like what you like. Doesn't mean I'm gonna go all in and buy them.
yeah.
But at the same time, I do. I don't know. Something that's just weird for whatever reason, man. They tickle my fancy, and it's hard to tickle my fancy these days.
You have to use, instead of a feather, you have to use the whole duster these days to get the feeling, to get that sensation. So
No kidding. Holy moly.
Gary, you are. It's funny right there. All right.
Okay, you are.
Did you need to go take you a break real quick? Because I'm gonna talk about something else that can be found.
Yeah, go right ahead. See, look, Clint has the right idea. Buy them and do some reviews, because Clint is trying to trick me into buying broken figures. I get it, Clint. You're an asshole. I get it. I see what you're trying to do to me. No, I'm kidding, Clint. You know I love you. Look, here's the deal. But it's the next comment that I truly love, because there's nothing like having somebody tell you, yeah, you like what you like. Just know that you're fucking wrong, you shit face.
No, you're wrong. I had this highlighted on. It's up to Master Hoarder is in the house. Going on, Master Hoarder. Good to see you here. Got 25 watching. Hit that like if you guys hadn't already. Helps with that algorithm. I'm not in that algorithm mafia, so I need all the help I can get.
I'll be back.
All right, we'll be here. All right, so something I wanted to talk about. I was gonna pull it up on BBTS, but I think, let's see if that's that's the right page. I think I'll just pull it up here. Let's talk about some Loyal Subjects mask. I was gonna pull it up on BBTS, but I wanted to show this Rhino right here, and it's already sold out. So they did the Rhino set in black and gold for the 40th edition, 40th anniversary edition. Shit, I can't talk. Mobile defense unit. I love this. These black and gold. I know somebody the other night said something about it being Saints colors. That's Vanderbilt. So you need a Vanderbilt V on the door of that truck right there. I dig this. Did anybody order this? Then I went to the loyal subjects page because I wanted to show this one. You know, that's messing the view up right there. I wish they had more pictures of it. But this is the one that they come out with. Now, if you go back to their main page for mask, here you are. You get to see all of the different sets that they've got. You can buy the bundle of all of the vehicles. I got an issue with the mask stuff because they give us the prices and then right before it come out, they up the prices on all of it. Especially on the Rhino. There is a BBTS. This one is the BBTS one where you get Scott and T-Bob with it. I'll switch to, there we go. So here's what the regular one looks like. You got Scott, Tracker, and T-Bob, because that's what we needed. We needed that T-Bob for him to ride on. Did anybody order the mask stuff? Because I said when we talked about it when they first showed it, like I definitely want it. I want the Rhino and I want the Switchblade for sure. But when I saw the prices where they upped them and all of this stuff coming out and hitting at one time, we got the Snow C.A.T's funding. We just showed the Stalker, the Rumbler. You know, the ramen stuff is getting ready to charge off. Like I got a tank that I've got to finish paying for. All this stuff at one time. You got wave 2 of Operation Monster Force coming eventually. All this stuff, the Scooby-Doo figures, Street Fighter, all this different stuff. And I just have not pulled the trigger on the mask stuff yet. And I really like it. I like the scale. You can put it somewhere. Let's see. Punk says Tony's figs ordered them. Did he order all of them? I knew he had talked about it, but I haven't heard if he ordered all of them or not. And then they had to change the name, I guess, on the Switchblade. I guess they had to change it to the high-tech helicopter. But I like what they did with them with the slight update with the little blast effects for the masks. And you get the long mask and the short mask. They just took and they just kept them the same, but they beefed them up. They gave them so much more little details. I think they look great. And I know a lot of people hate this scale with the 2-inch or 2.5-inch scale. It's just something different. It's like another dynamic of that childhood nostalgia. I know some people were really into masks. Some people were like, meh. And some people just had a couple things. Like mask was one of the bigger things that I liked, that I was into when I was a children, that wasn't G.I. Joe. Most everything that I collected, G.I. Joe was my main thing, but there was some other stuff, of course, Transformers, and Mask was probably one of the next biggest ones. Turtles, of course. Condor, I can see Condor going pretty quick because it is a pretty reasonable price point, $40. Old Brad Turner. I had this one. I think Pop Blender had this one as well. So I hope these do well. Clint says he ordered the whole package. I hope they do well because I like some of the other vehicles just as much, if not more. Like I've mentioned, I'd like to have the Hurricane redone. I never had the Hurricane, the 57 Chevy, the Jackhammer, and the Piranha with Sly Racks. Those were some of my favorites. ironically, I don't think I ever had the Thunderhawk. I don't remember having it. Pop Blender had it, but I don't think I ever had the Thunderhawk. And of course, you have Ramen doing these as well, the unlicensed versions, and his look great. A lot of play features in his too. But this is $65, and then you look at Ramen's, and it's like 180 or whatever. I have not done any kind of deep comparison on them. GI Jetman trademarks, most likely. That's usually the reason. Like all of our Joes are Sergeant whatever, Stalker, Sergeant Stalker, yeah, or they put the whole name in there, Jody, Shooter, Craig. A lot of it has to do with getting around trademarks where the it expires and somebody else will own that for something entirely different. So it's a way to get around that. I can't imagine that they couldn't find anything better than high-tech helicopter instead of the Switchblade, but I didn't name it.
So yeah, the trademarking, like that's the whole thing, right? Like, as the years go by, different people buy. You can look at it like movies too. Like Marvel doesn't own like the Hulk, Incredible Hulk license outright. So when they want to do a movie, it's like, Universal owns those rights, or Spider-Man with Sony and stuff like that. It's like it gets so jumbled up through the years that like when companies try to do stuff like this, trying to buy the rights to something, I can only imagine what a nightmare that becomes, and how much companies want to charge you for that license to use it, because they're going to license it out to you. So they're going to charge you depending on how popular it is, right? Mask, I don't know how popular, amongst toy collectors. I'm sure it's extremely popular, right? And those that are nostalgic for it. But how popular a license is it? What does those licensing fees look like, right? And if you, people hold dearly to those things because one day they might make a Mask movie. The classic story.
A Mask movie done right would be the
well,
shit.
The classic story is the Eastman and Laird, the owners of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah. And if I remember right, Matthew will know, I think it's Kevin Eastman. I could be wrong.
Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird.
Yeah, Eastman sold off like his rights because after the Turtles had kind of peaked at their height, right, and they'd made millions of dollars, then they went through a whole lull period, right? Then it gets revived, little cartoon here, then Nickelodeon. Then all of a sudden, the newer movies that came out, well, the other guy who still held on to the rights made millions and millions of dollars off of those movies. But the other guy had sold his rights off and didn't make shit. It's like that, and that's a classic story of like somebody owning the rights and then just giving them up outright. But companies will hold on to that shit for years, man, hoping that somehow there's all of a sudden there's popularity and something just gets, huge again, right? Those Mask toys, man. We had
a bunch
most. Of them. I definitely, we did, and I know I had most of.
You had Boulder Hill.
Boulder Hill, yeah. Most of them definitely had them for sure.
I was going back and forth looking at the pricing because BBTS will, they'll go up on everything. So they're loyal subjects ordering this. This is the limited edition one, so it's $175 on here and $175 on here as well. So it don't look like they've jacked them up too bad for BBTS. I need to look at what the others are, as far as like the bundle. See what the bundle is. Yeah. Those they're actually even on pricing. So that's something I wanted to look at. I think the Mask stuff looks good. 1/12 Thunderhawk. Yeah, it'd be cool to see Sharlock's matte tracker with it. Well, I mean, if he does it, I mean, he'd probably do a matte tracker and call it like at backer or something. So it's like a Star Wars name. Put apostrophe in there.
Yeah, right. It's whatever.
um, all right. Before we start getting into our main thing, or kind of leading into our main thing, did you have anything else that you wanted to go over?
No, I don't think so. I
Okay.
had sent that to myself and just, got that email and was like, oh shoot. And like I said, I know most people hate those. They hate those figures, man. I'm not stupid. It's
Yeah,
like
I
I
don't.
hear it all the time. I get it, but
If I if I find them on the ultimates, if I find them on a good enough deal and it's a character that I want, I'll buy them. So Yojo Depot, he deals with a lot of Super 7. I mentioned that before. He's got some really good prices on his, like some really good prices on just various ones, not just the Joe ones, but he carries a lot. Like he's got all the Thundercats and
yeah.
all the Silverhawks. He's got the metallic Silverhawks, the new ones. But I see him on a good enough sale. I'll pick some up. So just for the cartoon look.
Yeah.
All right. So what I wanted to show is let's talk about some Hasbro for a minute. I know we've talked about Hasbro, but what I want to talk about is they just started the Power Days sale. If you guys got that email today, and there's something a little funny on the Power Days sale. And what I'm seeing is funny is it's not as much of a discount, I don't think, as what we've seen in the past. Now, I'm not signed into my account. If you're a premium member, you get 20% off. So this is just reflecting a 10% discount for anybody. It's 20 if you're a premium member. Wasn't the Power Day sale, hasn't it in the past when they've done it been 30%? Am I remembering that right? Like they do it twice a year. They'll do another one in maybe
Yeah,
like October. I think it's
yeah. I think you're
I
right.
thought it was 20 and 30% or 15 and 30. I think it was 15 and 30. So okay. So Stanley and Clint both say
35.
35 for
Okay.
premium
Okay.
members.
Yeah,
So
I remember the 30, or at least the 3 anyway.
yeah.
I definitely remember that.
Okay. So here for premium members, it's 20%. That's clearing out some of this old stock, man. That's what's really going on. Like, do they want to sell this stuff or
I don't have Jody, so maybe I should take advantage of that at
uh
20%.
well, hell, man, you need to keep checking Walmart. Walmart puts her on sale for like $17 all the
Yeah,
time.
that sounds about right.
That's about a good price to give for Jody too.
Yeah,
So
that sounds about right.
there is some good stuff on there. They already sold out of Trouble Bubbles, so that they went quick. Tripwire, if you somebody that don't have Tripwire, picking Tripwire up on a sale. Tripwire is an awesome figure. He's probably in my top 10, top 15, for sure in classified. I love that figure. So it's a good time to pick them up. But man, what are they doing? Like we're paying for this premium, and then they run a sale and they can't even throw us a bone. They can't fix their shit.
Well, you know,
And then they knock the sale down.
I would almost, if there was a deep, and this is not really my bag, if this was a deep enough discount, like I would actually be into possibly purchasing this. With Jorah Sabaoth, Mara, Luke. I mean, I don't know. I would almost be into getting this this pack if it was on a deep enough discount, because I like the packaging. I'm not big into the Black Series, but I actually like these characters, but it's because I like the story. but 71 compared to 90, nah, not so much.
So just a couple comments. So Menjosa says Jody's on sale as we speak. She's $14 right now at Walmart.
Really?
And Tunnel Rat, who also goes on sale all the time, is 10. If you don't have Night Force Tunnel Rat, he's 10. And Matthew says Tripwire is like 15 on Amazon.
If you don't have Tripwire, that for $15, that's a bargain for that figure, in my opinion.
I'd say $15 is worth every penny of his regular retail.
Yeah, no, if you don't have that, I would go 100% to go and grab him off of Amazon for $15. That and free shipping, like that. Yeah, that's a pretty good deal if you don't have Tripwire, man. That's for sure, because he is worth that.
They've got some decent deals on them on Prime for Prime days. Mutton Junkyard 30. Marauder Sarge is $22.48. Cobra Retro Trooper 1986 looks like he's out though. That's the thing, when they do these deep sales, they go like that. But look around. But Pulse, that's what I wanted to get at was what the hell with Pulse in the sales, man? Like,
well, I guess my thing is, when you can find these, and look, they have no control over like the kind of third party or the, whatever, I guess, type of sales. But
Iron Grenadiers on sale.
When somebody could find these guys on Amazon or on another site for $15 or $20 less than what Pulse is trying to sell them for, do they not know that that's where people are going to go to get them? Like, they're going to comparison shop.
Yeah.
They're going to look and say, oh, cool, it's on sale. Let me just check just in case, unless you're that much of a Hasbro fanboy that's the only place you'll get your stuff from. And I'll say this, it's mostly the only place I'll get my stuff from, but it's not because of the Hasbro aspect. It's just I find it easier for me, especially on pre-orders, right, and stuff like that, to just go through that system. I haven't had too many.
You're not worried about when you're getting.
No, I'm not worried. And it's like, fine, if it comes 2 months after somebody does a review, great. I don't care. But for those that do, then yeah, like, why would you not comparison shop and go somewhere else? And then you find it for $10, $12, $15, even if it's $5 cheaper, right? Like, it doesn't matter. It's cheaper, period. And so, yeah, you look up here and you say, okay, well, all right, I see they got the sale going on. Let me look somewhere else. And then you find that it's not only been on sale for months, but it's even on a deeper discount, right?
And they do, just flipping through here on their top trending, they do have some pretty decent stuff on the sale. So it looks like some of this 15% off on some of the Star Wars. There's a Wolverine 15 on this Retro Trooper, but on the other stuff it was 10. So like Odin, the Hulkbuster armor.
Yeah.
I like that dude. I like the Clone Trooper.
Well, yeah, I just saw that as I was scrolling through the website myself. I just came across that, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty neat. I mean, it's goofy, but it's neat. It's fun.
Oh, he looks like a spooky space kook.
I mean, then we have like this guy right here for Matthew. I'll share this screen really quickly because he's like a werewolf. This is for Matthew right here. This guy, Pirate Captain Brutus, whatever the hell this, from Skeleton Crew, because he's a werewolf. Matthew be all in on this guy for $5 off.
Matthew's already ordered too.
Look at him. Rawr, I'm a werewolf pirate captain.
Looks a little like that new Mythic Legion Horror of Absinthe or whatever that line.
Yeah, right. I mean, look at the detail, the articulation. Mythic Legion ain't got nothing on Skeleton Crew.
see. Matthew said, I was lucky in tripwire. Mine had a deformed vest.
Shit.
Hasbro sent me another one. I got 3 figures for the price of one. Tripwire, 2 bomb disposal grunts, 1 valid green buck. He said only if he was 5, not 5 off.
Damn it.
Yeah, the
$5 werewolf.
Stinger is back on sale for $69 at Amazon.
All right.
GI Jetman, is there anywhere range vipers are under 70? Probably not.
That's
there was only a
amazing.
brief period of time that guy was like average price or 10 or 15, $10 more. It was a brief window of time. He was averaging around like 40, 30, 35 to 40, but it didn't take long. I know I saw one at Joe Fest, and they had, I think, 65 on him at Joe Fest. And then that's the only one I remember seeing. There might have been another one, but I distinctly remember seeing the price tag on that one. So, sale going on. If it's worth it, if you guys can save some money on something, check out Hasbro's sale and comparison shop for some other stuff. So, if something that you see might have it somewhere else. So let's talk about this thing right here. I got my banner. I recycled my banner from last week with Crow. Let's talk about the Adventure Team Arctic Campsite playset with vehicle.
Okay. I love how you put that.
I mean, it's the truth. And what was it, Matthew last night that called it the Flint and Lady J honeymoon playset? Was it Matthew that said that?
Yeah, something like that.
So then, it's like they're on a honeymoon, and they hired Frostbite and the Snow C.A.T to drive them around. So,
it's so messed up.
I mean, it is funny because it's true.
Oh Lord! All right,
let's
check it out, baby. All right, here we go.
All right, so we are at 6,737 backers out of 8,000. We're still puts us 1,060 away. 1,260 away, roughly 263. This has got to be the slowest funding, like just to fund, right? Like nothing else is taking this long just to get it to fund. Is that right? I think so.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's the case. And everything else funded extremely quickly. I think this personally will, I mean, it's gonna fund.
Yeah, it's gonna fund,
and it's gonna get a late rush, and it's gonna get a late rush to get the bivouac. It's gonna get a late rush to get both figures. I think it's gonna fund all the tiers. It's gonna have that final push. I think it's slow to get off the ground because number one, remember, they've been charging the shit out of us the last several days / couple weeks or whatever, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we just right before Joe Fest, we got hit. Boom, boom, boom. And it's been consistently like that. So for those that have done a lot of pre-orders, you need to recoup. You need to recoup and kind of, get back to good. So there's no rush to back it because there's no early bird. There's no advantage to doing it. You can wait until the last freaking day. I have no problem doing that. I don't need to be the first in line. I don't need to be in the middle, and I don't have to be the last one as long as I get in before the end of the bell. So for me, it's like, look, we found that out with the Rattler, right? You might have been the 30th person to back it, and you still ain't got your notification yet. So who gives a shit? So for me, it's like, as long as I get there when I get there, it's fine. I've been charged a lot lately. And I think that's part of it.
And you know exactly when you're going to be charged for this.
Well, exactly. So
to the within an hour.
Yeah.
Much.
So I think that's part of it, is that we've been charged a lot lately, and people are needing to recoup. I don't think this happened with the others. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do think that has a lot to do with it. It will be funded. I think all the tiers will fund, especially with the mad dash at the end. So I guess the question, or maybe the comment, or whatever is, this has been the slowest one to fund, but at the same time, I think that I think it is. I don't know. I think it really doesn't matter as long as you're there before the end. And I know you got Woody highlighted there. What's up, Woody?
Yeah, what's up, Woody?
And Punk says that's stupid thinking because you don't get charged till the end, so there's no reason to wait. That's true, but at the same time, like do I need to jump in there right now today? I mean, am I going to forget? Anybody that's interested in this thing is not going to forget. They're going to know. So it's just one of those things to me. It's like, all right, well, yeah, I can jump in and back it. But there's no advantage to jumping in first, right? But if that's how it is, and you get charged that day, right? That it funds, it's over, you get charged, fine. But that's not the way I look at it. I don't know. It's not the way I think about it.
I was going to put up this comment that I had highlighted from way back when not long after we started the stream from G.I. Jetman. So there are people on YouTube saying the Snow C.A.T has failed. So I haven't seen that said, but I mean, I'm sure in a roundabout way, that's what people are saying because it's so slow to fund. Like it hasn't failed. It's just slow. I don't think anybody that's saying that honestly believes that it's not gonna fund. I definitely think that it will. And it kind of ties into what Woody says. I have right here. Woody makes a really good point. People think they're teaching Hasbro a lesson because they don't like the choice, but they're going to end up backing it right at the end. And I'm
sure,
like, I'm kind of in that camp. Believe me, I want Hasbro to hear when I have criticisms, and I know Hasbro don't care one bit about me. I'm not deluded enough to know that, but if enough people voice those criticisms, maybe they'll set up and listen to something. That's almost kind of the way I'm looking at it, Woody, is like I want them to think, well, man, maybe we need to rethink some things or make some different choices. I don't know. I don't think it's going to have any problem eventually funding, and I think it'll hit all the tiers. I do think there will be the rush toward the end, but I don't think by this slow funding of it, I don't think people are overall happy with this being a Haslab.
Well, that makes
I'm
sense.
not.
That makes sense. That definitely is a sentiment. I think also too, there could be a little bit of, let's face it, like after 5 years of figures, right? If we go back and look, right? I know we're not kids and we're not aging out like we used to, but if we go back and look at the cycle of things, right? If you look at the cycle of G.I. Joe, I think its best and highest year was like 1986. And after that, things started to decline. There's a cycle to everything. There's such a thing as called burnout. There's such a thing as like, a lot of people eventually they're not as excited as they once were, right? They don't get as hyped about something as they once did. It's like, oh, the His Tank, hell yeah, right? And then you go, look at the Dragonfly, hell yeah, right? Rattler, hell yeah. And it's just natural that could happen. I'm not saying it has, but also what you said about the choice also can make sense. It may not be that one thing that just the whole overall community or whatever is all in on. I think it's easy for everybody to be in on a Hiss. I think the Dragonfly is pretty easy. I think the Rattler, most people are like, hell yeah, I love the Rattler. The Snow C.A.T, it's one of those very centric, vehicles that is particular to a type of climate and team, and it's not just something that you think of as an overall thing, like a plane, right, or a
Yeah.
tank or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then it becomes more specific. And I could see where, some people are like, man, I could get behind the Rattler, I can get behind the Dragonfly, but I don't know if I'm 100% behind the Snow C.A.T.
It's
I
so
could
specific.
fully understand that.
It's even though it was a very central vehicle in the cartoon, it's so specific. I know there's the discussion that's been had on like people that live somewhere where they've never seen snow may not be interested in this. I think it's an awesome enough vehicle that, because it's an all-terrain, I mean, that's what the cat is. It's all terrain. And you can use it. You can use this thing in the desert. You use it wherever. I mean, it's Arctic themed, but I think there's probably just enough people that maybe that didn't have it when they were a kid, because they didn't make that correlation that this thing really could go anywhere. Maybe they didn't have it as a kid, so they don't have the nostalgia for it, perhaps.
Right.
Now, I talk about this set.
Right.
I love the Snow C.A.T. It's one of my favorite, like G.I. Joe, the good guy vehicles. It is 100% in my top 5. It's probably in my top 3. I love the Snow C.A.T. I got tons of nostalgia for the vehicle, but I am definitely amongst the people that thinks this didn't need to be a Haslab. It's big. Say, I have a saying for this Haslab, and it's overstuffed for justification. Like, everything that they did here is great. It's really, it's neat. I like it. I like every choice that they made, but they could have not made some of those choices and done this vehicle with Frostbite for $200 as a made to order, thing. Don't put the lights in it. Don't have the set, the tiers, just the vehicle and Frostbite.
Right.
I think they could have done this as a made to order, like they did with Dragon Man, like they did with that second Sentinel. And I think it would have sold just fine. If they're going to do the Arctic thing, they should have done the bivouac in the Arctic with Flint and Lady J and all of the accessories.
Okay.
As a set, like, Flint and Lady J Arctic whatever set for $100, $80, whatever. I think that would have sold, because people really want that bivouac, and Flint and Lady J are two of the most popular characters in G.I. Joe. I don't think they would have had a problem carving that off and doing that separately. Everybody wants the bivouac set, and we'll see it again eventually in green, or they could do it in Cobra and put different accessories with it.
Right.
But my personal feelings is that they overstuffed it just to justify making it a Haslab after being on record saying that it didn't need to be a Haslab. Same discussion with the Thunder Machine. By that rationale, you can make the Thunder Machine a Haslab too. If they're going to make this a Haslab, they could make the Thunder Machine a Haslab, and it doesn't need to be.
I mean, I can see that. I mean, I can see the Thunder Machine, I guess, if you want to say that. I would say if we just look at scale and we compare the Thunder Machine with the Snow C.A.T, I'm guessing the Thunder Machine is not as large.
No, it's definitely narrower, but it may.
Is it as long? I mean, if we look at those,
it's close.
It's
Punk's
like when
probably done it.
Well, when Lawrence did the comparison, right? You line up the Hiss tank, you line up the Snow C.A.T, right? You line up something else with it, right? Then scale wise, you start looking and going, well, shit, man, this thing is bigger than, like, this is. So if for those that say my Haslab has to be bigger, for it to be $300, it's got to be bigger. Well, what does that exactly mean? So is bigger better? If it is larger, then is it worth the price to you just because of the sheer size of something? Um, and then I saw the comment, if the Rattlers 325, then the Snow C.A.T obviously, right here, Todd C, then the
Yeah.
Snow C.A.T is definitely worth 325, right? So then, it's kind of like, we start comparing and going, okay, well, if this is this size and it has this much stuff, this is the amount of plastic they use, or, whatever. Then we start looking at it from different angles, right? That's one angle, the sheer size of it. Then I guess you start looking at it from the aspect of, are they trying to do something not specialty wise, but different enough that those people who really love this particular toy are going to be all in on it. And then the people that still are going to back the G.I. Joe brand and the classified brand and the Haslabs are still going to come along too, right? So you're banking on like this one group who just loves this look and this vehicle and this Arctic kind of team set. And then you have everybody else who's like, well, I just love G.I. Joe anyway, and I want to back everything they do. Because it's a lot of people.
And I
think
think
buy everything they do.
A lot of people in that camp too, I think.
Right? So then you kind of start looking at it, and I'm sure, I mean, look, man, like we have to understand, they're not dumb. They look at they watch all this stuff. They watch all these videos, right? I don't know their marketing team, but I know that they look at all this data. They probably have spreadsheets and charts and presentations and meetings and all the stuff going over. What are we going to do next? What do we think is going to go over? This isn't Reva's lightsaber, folks. Right? So let's not kid.
You can use.
Let's not kid ourselves. This is something that people do want, and that's why they've packed it with as much stuff as they have, because they know that it's like, yeah, it is a specialty kind of item. It is a special segment of a team, and it unless you paint it green or whatever you want to do with it, it's going to be
Havoc too.
So right. So then it's like, but they know what they're doing, and I mean, look, I'm glad they packed it with a bunch of stuff. Like, it does do different things. When you take out the missiles, right? You take out the turret. You've got your transport, your troop transport. Snowboards. Hey, would you rather have patches or would you have snowboards and troop transport?
Oh no!
I mean, you see what
snowboards than.
But you see what I'm saying though. It's kind of one of those things. It's like it's easy for us to joke about, but I think realistically, there is, dude. Matthew said it, man. People are starting to pick and choose, and you get 5 years into a line, man. How long can you run this thing? People like to say, "Oh, you can run it forever." That's not how this works, and eventually people get tired and they get burnt out. And they start really picking and choosing. So, I don't know.
That could play into the people that don't have as much nostalgia for this vehicle, or maybe it wasn't one of their favorites, and
that's true.
Picking and choosing, they're like, yeah, I didn't like it that much as a kid, so I don't need this. That could play into that. I want to address Punk's comment. The light, size, and extras is what makes it a Haslab. Under your thinking, nothing needs to be a Haslab. It's not nothing needs to. It's that, like, it's not the Snow C.A.T is not a dream project. The Hiss wasn't a dream project. Not that it's not awesome, because it is, but we'll keep going back to the whale. A lot of us thought it was going to be the whale this year. I did. I mean, I never thought that it would be a Snow C.A.T, because they literally said that it didn't need to be. So I was thinking bigger and more robust, more toy, more playset centric. And the Snow C.A.T is not a playset. So what did they do? They put a playset with it as a tier. You said, like, the whale is the centerpiece of the whole table. It is its own playset. To me, something like that, the whale, the hydrofoil. We've had the talks on how big a Night Raven or a Sky Striker would be. Matthew mentioned, Wells, a Haslab, Terradrome sections, something like that you're not generally going to see. I think a large vehicle is what they need to stick to. And I know they're going to be more. I mean, I said if there was a well, it'd be 400, possibly more. But that's just me. I like all of the choices they made. I just would have rather seen them make them with something else, I guess. And I'm gonna back it. I need to go ahead and back it. I haven't done it yet. I'm like going back to Woody's earlier comment. I want somebody to look at the numbers and say, we need to do some thinking here on this line.
I mean, all right. So, no matter what they choose to do a Haslab of, there's only one or two, maybe three selections that they would do where everybody would be like, hell yeah, gotta have that.
Yeah.
And most of those things are freaking ginormous. Like huge in this scale. So like, we almost kind of have to take a step back and go, yeah, let's do a whale Haslab. That thing is going to be massive, dude. Massive compared to the Snow C.A.T. And then, okay, well, people say, well, gotta have a Night Raven. That, good God, like that plane was huge. So then we say, okay, we gotta have a hydrofoil. That's a big ass boat.
Yeah,
like,
it's
so
gonna be like the whale.
So then you start people questioning, how much room do I have for this? And then that's another factor as to why they may or may not order something. And it's like, trying to eliminate all those X factors as to why someone can't get something. Price point, size, right? I know people call for, we need the Tiger Force, we need Python. That is a select people that are really all in on that sub team that want to get that shit. And it's like, yeah, that'd be great, bruh. But guess what? Don't know. We got to have that all in funding, not that Tiger Force funding. Okay.
That's right.
So it's just the truth of the matter. So like, and that's why I say, like, yeah, man, like there's so many things we say, oh man, got to have this. Look, to me, the water moccasin, that's not a Haslab. Put that shit out. You see what I'm saying? That's an easy vehicle to have. You already have the figure. You can sell it by itself. Don't need it. You know what I mean? Don't even need a driver. You could do that if you want to, but I don't think that's what they're doing with this line. That's not what they want to do. They're not trying to recreate the original line in the 80s and 90s with the classified. They can't. There's no possible way they can do this.
Not in the scale.
So then it becomes a matter of them then picking and choosing what they think they can get away with and what we're going to support. So no matter what we got to have this, it's like, that's not, there's so much more that goes into that. And so look, the Snow C.A.T, it wouldn't have been my first selection. I wouldn't have said, hey, you know what? I want them to do the Snow C.A.T next. But for some people it is. But I do think overall, it's something they can do from a scale perspective that can still get done. They can pack it chock full of stuff. If they want to put the bivouac behind a paywall, fine. But other people say, hey, they're going to come out with it first before this Haslab comes out, right? Yeah. If that happens, great. If it doesn't happen, okay. But at least they're packing it with a bunch of stuff to get that buy-in. And for that, I appreciate. No. So I appreciate that part of it with all the cooking stuff.
Yeah.
I told you on the phone, Flint and Lady J were not my first pick for this team. But I get it. They're not going to put figures they haven't made yet behind a Haslab paywall.
No.
They're not going to put Iceberg.
Not with Joe's, no.
Right. So like, you're going to maybe get those guys. But they're not going to do it with a Haslab. So who are you going to get? You're going to get another, maybe. Now, it is interesting, though, because they did put Ripcord behind a paywall.
Crazy Legs, too.
And Crazy Legs. We got, Night Force.
That's what I thought that's what I was saying with Crow last week. I thought they might do some kind of like Arctic assault team, like Polar Force or something, and give us Iceberg or Blizzard or somebody in a different outfit, a different deco, knowing that you're going to get the regular one later. Right. I thought they would do one figure like that and then two figures of characters we already had. And I thought it would either be Flint and Lady J or Duke and Snake Eyes. And thank God it wasn't Duke and Snake Eyes.
Well, no, Jesus Christ. Do we need another Snake Eyes? Seriously.
No.
Like,
what's
come
up
on
to Legend series? I get a bunch of starred comments.
Yeah. We can maybe run through some of these quickly because I kind of started a few myself, man. Kind of going back up a little bit. What's up, Legend?
So you had starred. I showed Matthew and Todd's
Matthew, and Matthew and Todd are kind of the same page here. Yeah. The wow factor, seeing it, in person at SDCC, that's definitely going to help. And then Liquid Identity also, and having the same kind of idea with Arctic Stalker. Snake Eyes, I mean, look, again, hey man, sorry, so sue me. I don't need another Snake Eyes. I'm sorry. We've had a ton of him. I know he's that guy for G.I. Joe that everybody identifies with, but I'm like, come on.
I've got enough.
The Bivouac in Green will come up from the Haslab Snow C.A.T, says Matthew, just like Retro Scarlet was in hand before Glinda. And then let's see, if Classified has Arctic figs in the pipeline in the next 12 months, they should at least name drop them soon. And we don't even really know if they're going to even do that, right? Like, we don't even know if they're going to necessarily go, hey, we're going Arctic. They've been going like Mass Device or cartoon centric with some of these accessories, right? So like, are they going to go that route, right?
I have a theory. I think they will. Okay. They're not going to overload it, but I think they are going to call out some Arctic characters. I think we'll see V2 Stalker with the kayak as a deluxe set. And here's why, because we didn't get shit for the Dragonfly for a support team. We got whatever Night Force figures you have in your collection. We got with the Hiss, we got the 788 Fire Team, we got the Text Missile with the Techno Viper. We didn't get anything for the Dragonfly, and a lot of people wanted something, a ground crew, the ketchup and mustard guys, Night Force-ish green shirts, somebody else add them to Night Force and put them in the colors and call them helicopter equipment guys, whatever. And I think maybe they heard that feedback and not getting anything for the Dragonfly, we may get a crew like that for the Rattler. It's easier to do it for Cobras because you got nameless, faceless guys. But I think with the Snow C.A.T, you don't even have to do anything specific as part of a team. You can just add some Arctic troops to the lineup without having to do that and build your team as you see fit. So I think they are going to announce some Arctic guys by the time the Snow C.A.T comes out. I think we'll probably have at least one or two more.
Hey,
then.
That would be cool.
I love that Arctic stuff.
But
I'm an Arctic diorama, so
I'm not going to bank on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to bank on them doing that. I just think that, the Haslab is the Haslab, and whatever else they do, they decide they do. That's to me, that's just kind of how I look at it. But it would be cool. So many times we think that's something that's going to happen, and they don't really go that direction.
Yeah, and they've done that quite a bit.
Yeah. So let's see.
What do you get people's logic?
Yeah, got a lot of
thinking.
Comments.
This isn't a Haslab because with them doing this, you're basically saying they can turn the Road Toad into a Haslab if you put enough shit on it. That's exactly what I'm getting at. They could.
You
They,
you
they
you
if they wanted,
could, but I think I do at least appreciate the fact that they, you are packing it full of stuff. I mean, it's whether that's to justify it, right, or
yeah,
whatever. But I mean, and we all know either way, it's gonna fund. It's gonna fund, and I
yeah,
assume it's gonna hit all the tiers as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think it probably will. So
I
I
mean,
don't think
I think it will.
I don't think we
Um,
got anything to worry about. It just might come down to the wire, but
and
um,
and everybody will make a big deal. That'll be
oh yeah,
that'll be the title of a few streams, right? It'll be the
yeah,
title of a few streams. Oh,
possibly
why did
we've
this
got
happen? Is the line losing steam, or whatever? And no, I think overall it's just there's ebbs and flows, but I don't think you can sustain the level of just desire forever, right? It's just not natural at any period of time for anything. And so at some point in time, people will start to really back off and, and look, if they have a few misses, right? If they have a few misses in a row where people are kind of out on a wave, or they're kind of out on maybe a vehicle or something or two that comes out, and they've got a couple misses, that could happen quickly. That
yeah,
could happen quickly. People literally could be like, yeah, I'm not into this wave. I don't like these
yep.
guys. If they decide to do
Jump the
like
ship.
something that most people really aren't into, and they want to do 4 or 5 of them, right? All of a sudden it's like, nah, I'm good. That can change in an instant, right?
I think they saw that wave with Quick Kick and Big Boa and Techno Viper. And who was the other one? Though that wave, I think they saw a little bit of that there.
Yeah.
Stanley
Um,
wants to know how they can package a kayak. It's so long, they'll find a way.
oh, for sure. You just put it in
Yeah,
two
they'll find
pieces
a
and
way.
then snap it together. What you gotta do?
All right, so we've kind of given our thoughts on that. We're both on the same page. I think we got our different opinions on the set itself, but I think we both agree that it is a good set. You're getting your money's worth, no matter how you feel about what it should or shouldn't have been. You get a lot of stuff with it. It's a cool vehicle. They did a good job with it. And I think it'll fun, and I think it will hit all the tiers at the very end. So,
Yeah. I mean,
all
look,
right.
everybody's gone over it forwards and
Yeah.
backwards, and
Yeah.
it's what you can add to the discussion. I think so much more for than I think I can from the toy perspective. I just think overall that it is something that people do want, and I think that there is a lot of bang for the buck there. I
Um,
really do. That's
I
true.
don't think Hasbro's are those on the Power Day sale right
Well, I
now? I
think you
don't.
can get. I think that's the next Haslab. It's like two fists at each end, and it's black, and it's like really long, and I think that's the next Haslab, from what I understand. I saw a production design from the factory.
Were you in a
What's the
focus
guy?
group?
Who's the guy that sends out all those pics? What's his name? Who's the guy that always sends out the pictures there? The leaks.
Jaycon.
Yeah, Jaycon. Jaycon sent me a picture on my Facebook group of that new Haslab coming out. It's giant. It's giant with two fists at each end. It's amazing. They can mail. Trust me, you can mail one of those out. Not that I know what I'm talking about.
I may or may not know that those can be shipped. I don't know. Those may have been a Christmas present.
It's so stupid. It's just a perfect time for somebody to join the stream, like
Yeah.
KCC Toys.
What's up, KCC
Yeah, perfect
Toys?
time to
How
join
you
the
doing?
stream, right?
Go back up a couple of comments, and so we're gonna get on to our main closing topic, because I don't think it'll take too long. But hit Stanley's comment. Mega J's video
Yes.
description is Destro's journal. I did not see that yet. Slag pacing lead to a Cobra hack 4th tier kind of thing. 16 all a Sky Striker. I don't think a Cobra tier. I think they might if they're going to do it, it'll be some kind of a Joe tier. Like I think Matthew, it was mentioned the early shots of the Dragonfly. They showed the steel core. Somebody mentioned that. So I think it wasn't moving as fast as they wanted. So they swapped that out with Crazy Legs, because we just saw that render of him. The speculation that was going to be the steel core commander as that other tier. So maybe they'll pull some kind of switcheroo and throw something in. I don't think they will, though. For that price, I don't think they'll throw in another figure. This will be where they'll throw in patches.
Yeah, right.
This is where they should throw in patches if they're, as a one-off thing.
I will say this, and on a not a note of the Haslab or anything like that, but man, I really want a classic ripcord. I really want a classic ripcord figure.
We'll get him.
I know we will, but like I love that uniform.
That camo is some of the best camo that they did.
Absolutely. And I just, thinking about it and thinking about what we got, prior and everything, and just, it's like, I want that uniform. I absolutely love that damn uniform. So anyway, whatever.
All right. So our kind of our ending here. So we kind of challenged ourselves with coming up with some Joes and Cobras, or Joes and whoever, 5 good guys, 5 bad guys that we would like to see done in Arctic gear. Say they do pump out some Arctic figures to build this setup. We get, the polar battle bear, whatever. I don't think Cobra had a small snow vehicle. They had the wolf, but I don't think they had a small one, did they? Either way, maybe they'd come up with something. So we come up with 5 apiece that we would like to see given an Arctic treatment to go with this whole motif. So, and I called this Gimme Snow Patrol.
Okay.
And I meant Ski Patrol from the movie Ski Patrol. That's what I meant, but I already had it snow. So, do you want to go through yours, or you want me to go through mine?
Yep. So I made two pictures, and it's kind of got all the figures lined up on the pictures. That's kind of how I did it. I kind of did a, I guess collage is what the cool kids say. And one of them I had to. So I guess, look, because they're not slides. So when I show them, I'm going to show them. It's figures that I would like to have maybe seen in a Arctic style uniform outfit group. Some of it is partially because of need for a team. Some of it is just like, man, I'd like to see that uniform in an Arctic style. So I really went through and tried to refine and take some different images and try to get some Arctic style outfits. And then I put them all together on a Joe team and a Cobra team. And then there's 1 or 2 slides extra though that I want to show you as to how this thing comes up with it. It's so goofy. But anyway, so I'll show my Joe Arctic team here. Let's see. So this was my Arctic team, and so I thought, okay, I got low light here with the white camo. If you look, man, it's like, sniper rifle. Still got his goggles and everything. But I was like, what would low light look like? Have an Arctic sniper, right? And then Outback survivalist, right? So you got Outback here with the hood and just kind of your matching the snow a little bit. Maybe he could hide in the snow, right? Bury himself or whatever. Be that guy that can, kind of camouflage himself.
I didn't
survive in the
realize at
snow.
first when you showed that. I thought it was Snow Job, and I was waiting to tell me what was
No,
different about Snow Job.
it's Outback. And then I have Scarlet here with this badass Arctic uniform on. Look at the trim and everything on that shit.
Oh, I'm looking at
Right?
Scarlet's trim.
Oh, I know you are. I'm huge on that trim. And then I love this one because this was so much fun to make, was Alpine in an Arctic rock climbing outfit, right? And he got the fur and everything, right? The boots, man. He's ready to go
Boots
either
with the
disco
fur.
dancing. He's going disco dancing or he's going rock mountain climbing, right?
Night Dreadnought.
And then I got, guess who? That's right, Spearhead and Max. And I was like, what would that?
There's your cat.
Now here's the thing though. If you look, it's like, what's going on with that bobcat over there? What's going on there? There's something weird happening, right? Because we all know that Max is a maniacal creature.
He's the brains.
He's the brains of the two. I did wonder what that camo pattern would look like in an Arctic kind of, look. So I thought, okay, well, let me create a Spearhead Max. I used various images, and yes, Matthew, I did use AI for this. However, I got to show you the actual image that it
some
came
of the
up
failed,
with.
Some of the before you refine the command.
Okay. Look at what this shit came up with. What the hell is this?
Oh my god. It's Spider Cat. What the fuck? I hope Punk's still watching this. God damn.
What is it? Like Rick James. So
Kool,
Max,
that is a hell of a drug.
Max became a spider cat, snow spider cat. It's got 3 asses. It's, oh my god, I can't even. Fucking shit. When this thing spit that shit out, I absolutely lost it. Absolutely lost it. So anyway, so that was my here. Let's see. Well, I don't need to show them again. That was my Joe team. That was my Joe Arctic team. Now, my Cobra Arctic team.
Holy shit, Woody. That's great. Oh shit, Max is the thing. KCC Toys.
Okay, yes,
From the
absolutely.
thing.
Yes. So you are that's a great pull. That's a great pull.
Yeah.
Really quickly, one more time. I did want to show you guys, ladies and gentlemen, Alpine dressed as Rick James. So
Does he have a Cobra belt buckle?
it looks like it, but no, it's not. I didn't refine the search that much. So anyway, okay. So all right, so there goes Rick James. All right. So then I'm going to show you my my Cobra loadout. All right, my Cobra loadout. And then I'm going to show you a couple of the other ones that it kind of gave me, which I thought were
I'm trying to picture Arctic Rick James partying with the cat spider.
It's funny because all the images I used to Alpine, that's the one it spit out, was like this crazy cartoon image. So this is my Cobra.
Failed Globetrotter cartoon.
This is my Cobra team, Cobra Arctic team. You've got Arctic Baroness. I love the colors. See, that was the fun part about the Arctic team, was coming up with the colors. So you got Arctic Baroness with the boots and the fur and apple bottom jeans. Of course, she would have. But she looks badass. Then we've got our Iron Grenadier in the blue trim with the white coat, right? Like, that looks pretty badass. Zartan. G.I. Joe Ultimate Zartan. Suckers. Yeah. And but he has the blue trim, right? Like I just, in the cold, right? And then we have, doesn't look a lot different. Now it spit me out a couple other images of Firefly. I tried to get it as light as I could, but it just didn't want to give me what I wanted.
Possibly digital camo on the pants, but not on
Right,
the shirt.
right. But Firefly, it was supposed to be kind of an Arctic look. And then Destro with a fucking Globetrotters headband. I'm like,
that's cracking me up.
I didn't type in a headband. I'm like, and then I even typed in like same colors, same image, remove the headband. Well, it took half that motherfucker's head off. It just took his head off. I said, no, not take his head off. Take the headband off. It took his headband off. But I love these colors, though. I love these colors with Destro, with the white and then the blue. Like, I just think that's so freaking cool.
That looks good. Even
Zartan, though,
kind of works on Destro.
It kind of does. But the Zartan, I think that looks cool as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not classified Master Disguise Zartan,
right?
Because if they're in the cold, he
would, yes, 100%. But Baroness with the little furs, man, I thought that was cute.
That's great.
But yeah, especially the Iron Grenadier too. I like the coat in all white with the blue trim, the light blue trim, and then the dark blue underneath. So that was kind of my idea. Was like, what would these guys look like in an Arctic look, right? Not necessarily just that the team, I need a team that can do this or that. We kind of all know those things, right? But I thought, this would be cool. And Destro, Baroness obviously together, and then the Iron Grenadier is their muscle, and Zartan. And Zartan could be your, either Zartan or Baroness could be your sniper, right?
And Baroness and Destro and the Iron Grenadier all match, like,
I know, right?
Perfectly.
It's pretty wild.
The colors, that looks like they got their own, Arctic outfits. I love the white boots on the Iron Grenadier.
I know, dude. Like that.
They got some go-go boots.
I tried to refine it, as much as I can, and I don't use a ton of AI, but I thought it'd be fun just to play around with it a little bit for this. Yeah. So I'll show you just a couple of the slides that it gave me for some of the ones that I did. I'll show you a different Destro, for instance. So here was a Destro that I actually really, really liked. And let's see right here. I really like this Destro here.
Yeah.
But his body, he didn't have you know what I'm saying? Like, it just kind of looked odd, but it was more the lighter, more
that movie
Powder? Do I ever? Yeah, I got a handy in the movie theater to Powder. So anyway, so that was one look with Destro that I got, and then it gave me another Destro, and I didn't even ask for these colors. I just think it's so wild when you do this stuff and refine it. But look at this Destro.
That's pretty slick too,
right? Like
his medallion is the zipper.
I know, right? It's like, I love how it just can't do just intricate shit.
Details.
So that one I thought was kind of cool. And then let's see real fast. Let's see if I can find it. It gave me this Iron Grenadier, which I thought was way too basic. This is way too basic. But still looks kind of neat, right?
Yeah, he somehow looks more like a World War II German.
Yes, 100%
soldier.
Just a classic, right?
Yeah, Operation Barbossa.
Yep, classic kind of World War II look. So that's why I had to refine it and say change the coat color to white, give me light blue trim, whatever. And so I was, trying to just refine that look. I was thinking there was maybe one more that it gave me that was kind of goofy. Let's see. And then I'll just jump off of this. It was, let's see. Nope, not that. Sorry. I thought I had him. That Scarlet looks like a disco dancer too. It is this Zartan. So this Zartan is what it spit out to me, and I think it got his eye makeup kind of confused and weird. But this Zartan, look at the face mask though. It's
I
kind
mean,
of wild. Doesn't that look
I
wild?
mean, yeah, I mean, he's a master of disguise. That could just be an Arctic,
Mm-hmm.
face plate, face shield. Maybe it's got a heater in it or something.
Right.
That looks pretty good.
Doesn't
That,
look that bad. Look pretty wild.
I like that one.
Yeah, so I almost use that one, but again, it's like, okay, yeah, give me a classic Zartan look because you wouldn't know this is Zartan if I didn't say this is Zartan, right?
You just looking at it, you would think Storm Shadow.
Right. But anyway, so those are the ones I did. The G.I. Joe ones came out actually very easily, very, very quickly. And the only thing I had problems with was Outback. It would scrunch his face up and make like his nose and his eyes would kind of meld together. And whatever. And so yeah, but I guess, and then here's a Scarlet, here's a different Scarlet. That dark blue with the boots and the fur and everything. So it's pretty cool.
Not bad. I like the other one better.
I do too.
It's like skinned Snake Eyes bear.
Right. But so it was fun, man. It was fun. It was fun for sure.
She skins his bear.
Let's see. Let's see. Any screenshot. Woody, I will email you. Which one do you want? And I'll email you. You talking about the Zartan? I'll email you the file.
That boy
That's cool.
cold.
Yep. All right. What you got, man? What you got?
I'm gonna hit G.I. Jetman's comment right here. It says, how you guys do your slides pictures? Don't know how to do that yet. So I put them all in a folder and I just share and flip through them. That's how I do it. It's the easiest way for me. Some people do PowerPoints and run it as a presentation. I've never made a PowerPoint presentation. I have no idea how to use it. It's easy for me to just get everything all together in one folder, order it the way I want in the folder, and then just flip through it with the arrow keys. A lot of times, if you look at the names on my pictures, I'll have it as, whatever A or B, 1 or 2, 3 of 4. So I know where to stop while I'm going through them. That's the easiest way for me. That's how I do mine.
Yeah. I mean, different methods. I mean, depending on if you're doing a live stream or whatever, just mainly compiling.
Yeah.
Just compiling and then making maybe a new folder, and that way you just have them at the ready and you can just pull that folder up and then you share that screen and you can slide through it like a slideshow, or
cool.
whatever. But yeah,
I don't even order them as a slideshow. I just put them all in the folder and get them in the order I want and flip through them like what we're going to do right now. So here's my Joe team. I really wish I had thought to do it the way you did it because I like it better, but no, mine is just an assortment of pictures that I saved from 3D Joe's. So thank you for the images, 3D Joe's and Carson. So this is my Joe team that I would like to see in some kind of Arctic gear. I keep saying if they made an Arctic Force or a Polar Force, whatever, Arctic Assault, I think I called it last week. So 5 Joes that I would like to see as a member of that team. And that's my boy Cross Country there. I would like to see an Arctic Cross Country. That would have been a pretty good tier for the Snow C.A.T. is put a cross country because he drove the Havoc 2 and the Havoc 2 was the snow built off the Snow C.A.T. So change his outfit up a little bit and have him as like a co-pilot or a mechanic or something in the Arctic. So I love cross country. I don't know if I'm ever going to get any version of him in classified, but talk that one to death. But I think he'd be a good one to have in there. And like as a co-pilot, I always liked his file card. His father was a bulldozer operator, and his mother drove a road grader. Thing you might say he was born to drive big yellow things that run on diesel. And part of my love for cross country is because my dad had heavy equipment. and drove
Yeah.
bulldozers. Dad made his living with a bulldozer and a dump truck when Cross Country and the Havoc come out.
Right.
So there's my first one. So my second one for Arctic patrol or Arctic assault team, give me a Arctic Mutt and Junkyard. You can put a jacket on Junkyard, one of the jackets they get for dogs. He's a Rottweiler, so he's a short to medium haired dog. He's going to need it in the cold. And Mutt and Junkyard, again, my either first or second favorite Joe, depending on what day it is. Those guys in Roadblock bump each other off the 1 and 2 spot all the time. So Arctic Mutt and Junkyard, you give Junkyard the coat, give him the thing that Order comes with, the goggles Order comes with, put the polarized tint on it.
Yeah.
And you're good to go. So the next one I'd like to see, and I think this is one that Crow, I know it was brought up in the chat last week, but I think Crow brought this up. Arctic Lifeline.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I heard you guys talk about this. Yeah. I think it'd be great.
If it was somebody, if it wasn't Crow and it was somebody in the chat that brought it up, I apologize. I just remember the idea, so I stole it. Arctic Lifeline would be perfect. Reverses colors. That's all you got to do. Reverses colors. That's it. Give him a little better warmer head protection. Give him some gloves, and he's out there treating people for frostbite. Maybe he's treating frostbite for frostbite. So my next Joe, give me Arctic Cutter. I'd like to see Cutter in Arctic gear. I don't know what Coast Guard wears in Arctic operations, but I know they do have them. So I'd like to imagine Cutter in some kind of badass Arctic outfit. Give him, he's got to have his flotation device. Like again, always like a fur-lined hat or something, waterproof, neoprene, whatever. But I love Cutter. I like the pilots and the drivers. So Cutter. And then let's see, I like Liquid's comment right here, Arctic Shipwreck and with a puffer coat and a wool beanie looking like a dock worker. That's exactly what I had in mind for
right.
Fifth Arctic Assault Joe was Arctic Shipwreck, pretty much looking just like you described. Like the Devils do.
Yeah, for sure.
With the beanie and the cable knit sweater. I always like that look, and I hope we get it in classified. I'd rather have that than his Battle Corps SEAL team diver look, and that's a badass look too. So that was my last Joe was Shipwreck. Look at the comments here. Yeah, Havoc is definitely in my top 5 on Joe vehicles for sure. Dad drove loaders. Yep. And Viper Scout did Arctic Lifeline, and he did just reverse the colors. It's easy peasy. So for my Cobra team, I need an Arctic version of my boy Scrap Iron. You wouldn't even have to do much. Puff his suit up a little bit. Give him a hood, a balaclava to wear under his helmet or something. I'd like to see Scrap Iron in Arctic colors. Basically, I would buy it if they just painted this guy different. I'd buy it in classified today. So just my favorite Cobra outside of Cobra Commander. I take him everywhere. He was with me this weekend in the creek.
Yep.
2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, he was in the pool at Joe Fest.
Yep.
So you had this guy on your list as well. Arctic Firefly. To me, Scrap Iron and Firefly are a team that go together like peas and carrots. So I like your Firefly. So enough said about that one. Just Arctic Firefly. Next, what about this dude? I keep saying I want this dude in classified, and I think we're going to see him announced soon. I think they're going to do this guy. Cesspool. Now, I don't really care about Eco Force. I don't care about the Eco Warriors, but take this guy, basically give him this outfit, just, beef it up a little bit for Arctic gear, give him a helmet that makes sense to wear in the Arctic. And not only do I really like this character and I love this figure, but like he's all about environmental disasters and holding people accountable. So think about the Arctic, think about Alaska. You got the pipeline up there, huge oil fields. You got a lot of water, a lot of gulfs and bays up there that this guy could go up there and wreck. Maybe he's up there trying to steal the oil and pipe it to Cobra. Who knows? So give me Arctic Cesspool, man. I just saved the file cards. We're not gonna read through them just for another image of them. Next, this one might be a little bit off, a little bit different. This is Track Viper that drove the Hiss 2.
Okay. Yep.
I always liked this figure as futury as he is. He looks like Rom Space Knight. But do this dude up in some Arctic colors and put him with a Cobra snow vehicle, something equivalent of what Battle Bear size. So Liquid's got it right here. An Arctic recolor of the ATV. A ferret, Arctic ferret. Put this guy on an Arctic ferret. But I always liked this figure. I had the Hiss too, and this was always a cool little dude. I hated his gun, but we got a lot to choose from.
It changed the visor from red to like blue or light blue, or
the polarized,
the
bat.
Yeah, right. Yep.
So do something like that with this guy, just a different type of Cobra Trooper than what we usually see.
Right.
Bobby's got a good comment here. Cesspool's the figure they should have brought the window packaging back with. Take that, environment.
That's just beautiful. That's great.
Same time, toys in the house.
What's up, Shane?
What's going on, Shane? How you doing, man? Yeah, the Hiss 2 was awesome. I still have pieces of it. Some tabs broke, but I liked it so much I kept it.
At least you got some pieces.
Yeah. Oh, that fateful yard sale.
Oh, don't remind me.
And then my last Cobra is also another trooper that we're most definitely going to be getting in classified eventually. Crimson Guardsman Immortal. I always liked these guys. This was one of the later figures that I had, one of the last couple of years. I think he was a 1990 figure or 91, somewhere along in there. I didn't ever care for his weapon system much, but I always liked the design of this figure. So same thing, they could take this, put him in white and polarize the visor, do white and blue, pretty much everywhere where there's silver, make that blue, that powder blue. And that's my last one. A squad of those guys and a squad of the Track Vipers hooked up together. Might give the Joes a run for their money in the cold.
Yeah, man.
And there's my time. Really, I'm getting, next time we do something like this, I hope I have time to do what you did and do AI versions for each character, but that takes a while.
It does. And I mean, the thing of it is, look, I just went on Gemini. I've got a Google Pro account, so I've got the AI stuff where I can make 8-second scenes out of shit and stuff. But my processor, I don't think my computer can handle that kind of work. It's good. It's not that good. But as far as this, it really was just creating a prompt. And I'll be honest with you. This was my prompt. I took 2 or 3 pictures from I would type in, let's say, Baroness G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
And I would Google that, hit images. I'd find 2 or 3 images that I really liked. One of them was an anime image, and the sexy anime images, right? And then one of them was of a file card. One of them may have been from the comic book. One of them may have been from the actual Baroness figure, the original. And then what I would do is I would load those 4 images up, and then the prompt, the only prompt I used for almost everything except when I had to refine it was create an Arctic version of this character with the equipment that's in the original image. And it would spit out pretty much what I used for everything. And that's it. I used the same prompt for every figure, every image. I just said create an Arctic version of this character with the equipment that is in the original image, and it would give me something to work with. And if I had to refine it, I would. So what took the longest wasn't refining it, because I'm not trying to get that ultra realistic, and I'm not trying to get too funny and cute with it, was just having to type that in and go like search images, and then open new tab, save image, and then load that image in. That's what took the longest. It still takes a while though, just because it just takes time. But that was mainly it. It was just, not too tough, but at the same time, you're right, it does take time to do it. So if you have that, if you had about an hour to just bang them out like that, and especially if we were doing, let's say 3 of each, not 5 of each, or let's say 6 or 7 figures of this, if you had about an hour, you could probably knock them out if you just jumped all in on it.
Yeah.
About an hour. And I think you get it done.
It's doable. And I like to use AI. I like to generate an AI background. So like our background back here, the actual background itself was actually I did in Gemini as well. This was the original. So, and I think I did realistic frozen barren wasteland.
Yeah, something like that. Usually I'll say, give me a 1280 by 720 JPEG of Arctic wasteland with blue skies and the northern lights in the background, or blue skies, or dark skies with the northern lights in the background. And it'll spit out whatever, right? Shit like that. But
I think with people images, the few that I've made, Chat GPT does a better job of making them realistic looking. But for cartoony looking images, like my scrap iron that I've been, the logo that I've been using. So this one. Right there, Gemini seems to work better for me for that. So
yeah, there's a couple of them that I use. Night Cafe is one that I've found that does okay with certain things. Gemini does okay. Chat GPT does okay, but sometimes
takes forever.
Yeah, but also sometimes it doesn't want to. You have to be careful what you type in, because it doesn't like words like war and soldiers and like battles and explosions and things. Like it doesn't like that, and it'll spit out like terms of service stuff at you, and you're like, okay, well, I'm not allowed to type in an army soldier. Yeah, but it won't. It will do that to you for sure. But it's fun to mess around with. It's nothing I would ever get good at, so to speak. But it is fun to mess around on little fun projects like that, and making thumbnails just for the hell of it.
Yeah, that's the thumbnails or little funny graphics or pictures for stuff like this. I'm not. Would never make one and be like, "Hey, look what I made." Well, how about you give me $5?
I mean, I created like a 8-second scene of the Predator sneaking up behind a couple soldiers in a jungle.
That was pretty good.
And it's not perfect, but that was the power of the it's called the VO3
many.
It's Google VO3 is what it is, and I have the subscription to it. It's VOAI 3 or something like that. It's crazy.
The power of many.
Yeah, it can do some pretty wild stuff, but man, you got to have a good computer for that, man. You really do.
Yeah. Yeah, mine does it, but it does it strugglingly.
Oh,
So
yeah, you can hear
uh
it.
all right, so KCC says hope they do a hiss repaint. I think we might see an Arctic hiss with no lights. Possibly change a little bit. No snap on rocket pods or anything, just a blue and white and gray hiss, possibly. So
Right.
just my thoughts. They did jokingly mention it in the Snow C.A.T stream. We know they're not above using parts of them from the proton pack. So Madgus says, "Old man falling asleep, waking up.
Hey,
Y'all
I
still
hear you,
here?
buddy. Me
We
too.
about to roll.
Yeah,
I got to
about
work.
that time, man. I'm pretty beaten. I know you got to get up early too, my man.
Yep. Before we do, before we close out, since we did talk about them a little bit earlier, let's watch a couple seconds of Duke and Snake Eyes losing.
Love it.
I always liked watching them get beat down for a few minutes.
I mean, shit, them dudes ain't playing, man.
No, there's like 30 of them. So, watch them piss fly like they on a carnival ship, beating the shit out of everybody.
Like, dude.
So what you got coming up on the Pop Blender channel?
Oh man. If I just lay here. That's just for you, Ronnie Trick Shot. If I could get my voice in order and I can get this Rattler out, I'll pull it out and I'll probably try to maybe just film a little bit of it. Yep, do a review. But if not, then Sunday. I've got some stuff saved from the last week or so to talk about on Sunday. I will have a Superman review because Friday I'm going to see Superman.
That's right.
So I'll have a review on Superman Sunday at the latest, possibly before then, and just do a quick out of the theater review. But otherwise, Sunday night, 9:30 Central, I'll do Unfiltered and bring up some of the stories that me and Matthew didn't go over, and that's about it. Then Tuesday night with him. So it's all I got. It's all I got planned.
All right. I'll be looking forward to hearing your Superman review, a spoiler or non-spoiler review.
Yep. I'll probably do one of each. I need to separate it. One of each. So I'll do a non-spoiler, and then I will do a spoiler review after that. So take your pick.
All right. Matthew says, don't do it before Sunday, and I may join you. You guys could record it as a video, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's, it's if he's going to be able to see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if he's able to, guarantee to see it, then, rock and roll. But, it all depends, that
let you guys work that out.
Right.
All right. I have got some couple reviews coming up. I got my heavy duty review up. Guys, if you don't mind, you want to see me try to figure out how to snap all that shit on him for a few minutes. Check that out. I have a review, should be up sometime tomorrow night on the Legacy Firefighter here. If you guys hadn't ordered this, order it. Is my recommendation. It's a great figure. I love it. So I have a review coming up on him. Hopefully I'll have Footloose this week, and I should also have Crystal Ball. So I'll have reviews up on hopefully all of those by the end of the weekend. So we'll see how it goes, but that's what I got coming up. May try to squeeze in a Hasbro video. I keep saying it's time to unload some barrels with Hasbro. So I may need to just write my thoughts out and do another angry video. Not that it's just time to do one, man. There's just too much going on, and I need to put it all together in thoughts. But anyway, so got those coming up, and then next Wednesday I will be back for Backyard Battlefield with Krusty Old Crow. Don't know what our topic's going to be yet, but it's going to be funny. I'll tell you that. And that is it. Let's see what we got. Thank you, Mr. Madness. I'm glad you were able to stay up for it too. You can go to bed now. Pop Blender, play us out of here.
Oh, I definitely would if I had controls.
Well, now I'm having a hard time finding because all of the stuff
you got the file. I can't play it.
I can't find it. All right, we'll see you guys in
2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Get ready for a surprise.